It was all there Wednesday night. The hoopla, the excitement, and the tension that come with the Stanley Cup playoffs. But the Penguins got the jump on the Flyers. It's sure to produce memories of last year's postseason, when the Flyers lost Game 1 twice, yet came back to win both series. Hockey's Battle of Pennsylvania is on again in earnest. And both sides already have bumps, bruises, and scars to prove it. Tonight, the Penguins gun for control of the series, while the Flyers try to even things up before heading home. Every player is well aware of the stakes. Game 2, Flyers-Penguins next.
Pittsburgh Penguin fans feeling pretty good about themselves right about now. Their Penguins off a solid victory in Game 1, and so tickets for Game 2, a hot commodity here in the Steel City. And the Penguins team, evidently, relaxed and loose. The Flyers, meanwhile, very determined in the cozy confines of their locker room as they prepare for a very big hockey game. It's Game 2 of the Eastern Conference quarterfinals between the Flyers and the Penguins here from Mellon Arena in Pittsburgh. And a pleasant good evening. Welcome to Flyers Hockey here on Comcast Sports. Not along with Bill Clement. I'm Jim Jackson. Steve Coates joins us here in just a moment. Bill, Game 2 of a 7-game series can often be very pivotal. This one, huge for the Flyers.
Well, listen, the first thing that has to be explained is there was nobody any more disappointed with how the team played in Game 1 than the 20 guys that suited up. And I will tell you this, there was a completely different vibe around this team today than there was before Game 1. It's a very determined Flyer squad tonight, and I expect them to be different.
And there's no question the key to this game will be staying out of the penalty box. Discipline is the key.
Yeah, a lot of people talk about discipline. I define discipline as the ability to control your own emotions as opposed to having the emotions control you. The Flyers did not have discipline in Game 1, and it cost them. They ended up in the penalty box 8 different times, and the Penguins were able to capitalize on one of them. And they started out as an undisciplined group and really finished the game as an undisciplined group. Scott Hartnell ended up taking 3 penalties in the game. Aaron Ashton started the parade that led to the Penguins' goal, but it was Dan Carcillo right here with 7 seconds to go. That was the big breakdown. John Stevens justified having Carcillo on the ice because of this play. He said, Billy Guerin bull rushed Braden Coburn on a 5-on-3. I wanted to make sure that didn't happen, but he didn't think that Dan Carcillo would go out and do what he did. As a result, Dan Carcillo suspended for a game for hitting Talbot in the head with 7 seconds left. John Stevens fined $10,000 for an attempt to send a message late in the game, the outcome of which was already decided. So, big message for the Flyers that the league tried to get through.
Well, one man's misfortune, Carcillo, is another man's gain, an opportunity. Lucas Spiza will replace him in the lineup. He'll play up front. The 19-year-old gets his first Stanley Cup playoff action.
No, and this is a smart move to have Lucas Spiza in the lineup. Yes, the Flyers needed to replace Dan Carcillo, but Spiza can play both forward and defense. Remember, Kimmo Timonen got a little banged up in Game 1. Didn't skate yesterday, didn't skate today. If there are bruises added to bruises on Kimmo Timonen, Lucas Spiza's in the lineup and could drop back.
As for the Penguins, you always talk about the big guns with the Penguins, Malkin and Crosby, but you know what? Perhaps their best player was Jordan Staal in Game 1. Coach, he had his line dominant at times.
Well, if you talk to anybody here in Pittsburgh, they're going to tell you that that line was the best line for the Pittsburgh Penguins in the latter part of the season. It's a perfect combination with Kennedy and Cook on the wings and Staal in the middle. Now, you can see the ice time for them the other night. Now, Stahl's the ringleader at 6'3", 215 pounds. This guy does everything. His work ethic is absolutely spectacular. I told you, he's a big man. So he uses that size to his advantage. He can protect the puck. He'll take the body, and he just creates havoc in the offensive zone. And that's what makes it so important, because Kennedy and Cook, they're just going to follow him around. Because of his size, he's going to be a load for the Philadelphia Flyers. Tyler Kennedy, 14 points in his last 19 games in the regular season. He gets his first playoff goal the other night. And then Matt Cook, he's the grit. He's the guy that'll take the body. He's the guy that's going to create havoc for anybody on that line. But Braden Coburn, we asked him, how do you control guys like Staal and Malkin because of their size?
Well, these guys are good players, but you got to be physical on them, take away their time and space, and just like any good players, when you do that, you can usually neutralize them.
Jimmy, it's going to be the same situation. You know that Jordan Staal and Malkin, they're big guys. They're going to be going that net all night.
No question about that, Coach. And we always look forward in the playoffs, Bill, to players just lifting their game to another level. No matter how good they were in the regular season, they have to be even better in the playoffs, and that holds true certainly for Jeff Carter as well.
And that is the challenge for Jeff Carter, but the degree of difficulty in elevating his game is magnified by the fact that the Penguins are pointing their best defensive weapons directly at Jeff Carter. The thing I like about Jeff Carter is that he came on as the game went on, but that hit by Hal Gill. Gill outweighs Carter by 50 pounds. Jordan Staal outweighs Carter by 20 pounds. There will be a physical challenge for Jeff Carter, but if he can pick up where he left off in game one, I think he'll be okay because he had 5 shots in the third period of game one. For the Penguins, Sidney Crosby and Evgeny Malkin had a goal and an assist, but I really thought the Flyers did a decent job on them in game one. You have to know if they weren't that visible in game one, they are going to come with an even better effort in game two. So the Flyers defensively have to be as good as they are offensively.
The joint is rocking. Great atmosphere. Game 2. Flyers-Penguins is straight ahead.
The Stanley Cup playoffs on Comcast Sportsnet are brought to you by Wachovia, the official financial services partner of the Philadelphia Flyers. By Toyota, a smart way to keep moving forward. And by Bud Light. The difference is drinkability. Game 1 was a case in point of hockey's thin margin between success and failure. While Mike Richards 3 times found iron at one end of the ice, the bounces went Pittsburgh's way at the other end on more than one occasion. Which team makes their own breaks in Game 2? We find out as the puck is dropped after these messages. Tonight's Game 2 of the Eastern Conference quarterfinals is brought to you by Honda. Test drive a 2009 Honda today at your Honda dealer. And by Mountain Dew. Do the do. Mellon Arena ready for Game 2. Flyers do not want to fall down 2 games to none. No team over the last 2 playoff seasons in the NHL has come from behind from the 0-2 deficit.
Our Southwest starting goalies, nothing will change in this series unless something disastrous happens to either Martin Biron or Marc-Andre Fleury of the Penguins. Here we go. It's not a game 4 with the team winning 3-0 in the series, but it's pretty close to a must-win for the Flyers.
Jeff Carter's line to start for Philadelphia against Jordan Staal, a matchup we saw plenty of in Game 1. We'll see more of it, I'm sure, here tonight. Flyer line combinations at the bottom of your screen. Flyers in the road whites, home dark uniforms for the Penguins, and the Penguins immediately go to the forecheck. Tyler Kennedy into the Philadelphia zone. Carter roars back to get the puck and now starts back toward Pittsburgh ice.
Whoa.
Carter with a burst of speed and now dishes off. Lupul's shot blocked.
Whoa. What a burst of speed from Jeff Carter. He took off behind his own net. That is the kind of assertive play from Jeff Carter that is going to make a difference if he can keep it up.
Hartnell will lob one in and the Flyers will make their first change. Carter trying to set the tone. We often see the tone set with a hit. How about with a burst of speed like that?
Just blew by everybody, and Pittsburgh got that matchup that they wanted. They started Jordan Staal at center, Hal Gill on the blue line, the big guys given the responsibility of shutting Jeff Carter down.
Pittsburgh line combinations and defense pairs at the bottom of your screen as the Penguins move up. Here's Sidney Crosby swinging wide to the left wing. Banks it around behind the net all the way out to Bill Guerin. Back around Chris Kunitz. Trying to catch up to that, but could not. And Mike Richards takes over from Philadelphia. To Kimmo Timonen playing with a Charlie Horse. Again, takes it early in, and he gets buried in the corner by Guerin and Crosby. Still, Timonen, while on the ice, able to control the puck for a while, and now Guerin gets it back. The Flyers recapture as Richards gets to Gagne. He's checked the puck bouncing high in the air. Crosby wrapped up by Knuble and taken to the ice. The puck bounces ahead. Richards rammed into by Brooks Orpik, and the physical play has begun early. Sergei Gonchar, the veteran defenseman, moving up. From the red line will send in as the Penguins complete a line change. Andrew Albert's back. Andy Jones paired with Alberts. Jones not with the team yesterday. Had a death in the family. To tend to that, arrived back with the club today. Did not take part in the morning skate. Flyers the puck here. Briere trying to get the puck to Jones. It's tipped away. And now Fedotenko the other way. Uslat Fedotenko to Malkin. Steamrolling in. Shot off the post. Off the post. Well, the Flyers, the team that hit the post in game 1. The Penguins, an early dinger here in game 2.
That might not be a bad omen for the Flyers.
And speaking of bursts of speed, Malkin himself roaring through center ice right there. And he's after it again. Over skates, puck right into the slot. Alberts gives to Daryl Powell. Powell ahead. And the Flyers will move the puck through center ice. And Briere sending it in. Fleury handling that. Powell playing with Briere and Giroux. That's a lineup change for the Flyers as they move Powell up to play with those two.
But that scoring chance by Evgeny Malkin started with a turnover by the Flyers just inside the Penguins' blue line. Have to be so careful to manage the puck. That's what coaches talk about when they say managing the puck. Turn it over there. You're asking for trouble against Pittsburgh.
Pascal Dupuis and on Carl in the forecheck as the Penguins' forechecking game looking like it did early in game 1. It's ferocious.
That it is. The one thing that can diffuse that is quick puck movement. These forecheckers need time to get there.
Pascal Dupuis moving in. The wrist shot saved Miron. First shot of the game belongs to the Penguins. The post shot did not count, of course, as a shot on net. Maxime Talbot looking for it, but now the Flyers have it. Lucas Pizzo wearing number 47, his first ever NHL playoff game, playing up front. And he'll now head off on a change. But the 19-year-old is officially into the Stanley Cup playoffs. Andrew Alberts, cross for Jones. Nowhere to go in center, so back to Alberts. He'll move it up, and a nice crisp pass to Carter. Carter moving on in the shot. Save Fleury, rebound to the corner. Lupul after it. Lupul run at by Stahl. Carter comes in. He's mashed by Hal Gill, and the puck set ahead from Cook to Kennedy. Kennedy trying to go wide on Alberts. Alberts rotates back, gets a piece of him. Finishes him off in the corner. Scotty Hartnell to the puck behind the net. And he hears the boos from the fans here at Pittsburgh. Nearly turned it over, but a good play by Carter. Swept the puck to center ice. Jeff Carter, the first 2 shifts are any indication, appears to be ready to rock and roll in this one.
But you know what, JJ? One of the challenges for Scott Hartnell and Joffrey Lupul is going to be keeping up with Jeff Carter. Marc-Andre Fleury came way out of his net to cut down the angle on his last shot by Carter. If Jeff Carter had had an option and somebody to pass to, Fleury would have been caught in no man's land.
Crosby backhands. That puck goes through the slot area. Huge hit attempt by Kunis. Didn't get that much of Richards. Got mostly glass and boards, but it made a lot of noise. So the fans here enjoyed it as the puck goes deep into the Philadelphia zone. Team in again. A target eludes one check. And again eluded most of Darren's check. Couple of Penguins getting a piece of Gagne, knocking him down. And the Penguins, the more physical team here early. That's a turnover there by Knuble.
But it's only because the Flyers aren't moving the puck very quickly. And Kimmo Timonen, and this will be another challenge and test of his courage level, because he has got a bullseye a mile wide on his back.
Without question. Good checking there by the Flyers to knock the puck away, but then almost gotten back by Pittsburgh. Timonen again takes a hit as he gets the puck out to the neutral zone.
I'll tell you one thing, the pace of this hockey game is a lot faster than the game we saw in game 1. Both teams up on their skates. Obviously, as Jimmy said, a little bit more activity from the Penguins. Physically, they're going up and down.
Turnovers by the Flyers leading to a couple of chances for the Penguins. Malkin had the last one with a wraparound. Biron was there to meet him. Sikora brought at by Coburn. Knocks him off the puck effectively. And now Braden Coburn looks to get the Flyers going back the other way. Carl, pass that could not be handled by Giroux. And the Flyers have already turned the puck over at the Pittsburgh blue line 3 or 4 times here in the first period. They've lived to tell about it thanks to a post, a couple of saves by Biron and a wide shot.
Penguins are establishing their hitting game by chipping pucks in. Where the Flyers have turned pucks over, the Penguins have dumped pucks in.
Alberts back to get it in Philadelphia ice. We've already played 6 minutes. Who needs whistles? Jones moves the puck ahead to Giroux. Giroux from the red line will dump it in. Scuderi there takes a bump from Briere as the puck rolls free to Aaron Asham. Asham run at, but avoided the check. Jared Ross picks up the puck, tried to center to Asham, but it was tipped away. Gill gets it back. Asham gets a piece of him. Briere tips the puck free. Asham tried to drag it in front. Now Briere has it. Danny Briere rotating out with it, then turning it back around behind. Asham will get to it. Turning with the puck is Asham. Back to the point. Alberts to Jared Ross. Ross centering for Spiza, but that one missed him, and it's Pascal Dupuis the other way to Craig Adams, and Alberts tips it away from him.
Boy, Andrew Alberts was coming across for the freight train.
Flyers making changes. Jones hangs on to the puck. They have running time here, Bill. Up just as I say that, the puck deflects and goes over the glass and out of play.
How do you do that?
That Jackson Jinx is working. 7 minutes even into period number 1. No score. Lots of action.
No score here. Let's take a look at our keys for the game. The first one, discipline. Stay out of the box. Discipline, discipline, discipline. Stronger forecheck. Get on this defense, and better success getting to the net. Get in front of Fleury. But it's been the Penguins early in this hockey game that's come out playing very physically. A little bit differently than what we saw the other night, as that they are taking every opportunity to finish their check. Then you see that shot by Malkin right off the pipe. So certainly the Penguins off to a good start in this one.
Well, it's about weathering the storm, and we might add a fourth key, Coatsy. Get that first goal. That might quiet everything down, Bill, because right now this place is rocking. The Penguins seem to be thriving on that atmosphere, and a goal would shut that down a little bit.
No question, the building feeds off the hits, and the players feed off the building. So that loop is created, and you cut that loop in two with the goal that takes the crowd out of it.
Another hit. Now Carter back, and the puck goes back out to the point to Rob Scuderi. They roll it around for Tyler Kennedy. Kennedy picked up his first career playoff goal in game 1. His pass there off the skate of Cook to the other side of the ice. Jones over, but could not get there. He reaches for it now, but it's Cook trying to get it back to Scuderi, and did. Scuderi down low for Kennedy. Kennedy around behind. Jones gets to him. Still controlling Kennedy, then upended into the corner. No call there. Referees Bill McCreary and Brad Meyer working this one. Shane Hire, Tim Nowak are your linesmen. Tyler Kennedy to the puck. His angle shot blocked by Carter, and it goes into the safety netting. Our first opportunity to show you the virtuous scratches. Carcillo out because of the suspension. Cote and Hatcher are done for the season. No changes for Dan Bylsma and the Pittsburgh Penguins. Why would you change? They were successful in game 1.
Jeff Carter, like he was shot out of a rocket to start this game. You know, you mentioned the veteran refs. You could hear one of them, and it was Brad Meyer on that last play, kind of coaching Randy Jones. No hands, Jonesy, no hands. He didn't want him to hug him and take a penalty. So that's what a veteran reffing crew will do, is kind of guide you as a player.
Billy Guerin, nice moves, got it in front. Guerin, I should say, ends up in the net as he's pushed in by Guerin, who is pushed into him. And we get our first confrontation of any kind. This one is mild compared to some of what we saw in game 1, but it will rev up, and we will see more net crashing, that's for sure.
No, that's part of the Penguins' hunger level. I mean, they were good in game 1. They're in Marty Biron's face an awful lot. Flyers tried to do the same at the other end, a couple of snow showers, and got too aggressive on at least one of them. That one by Scott Hartnell. The Flyers want a better net presence. Have to, and it's a real issue too for Scott Hartnell. When I talked to him this morning, he said, I got to do a better job of keeping up with Jeff Carter. So does Joffrey Lupul, because when Carter streams across the blue line by himself with guys 20 feet behind him, he's a lone soldier, and it's hard to play against this caliber of defense like that.
Keeping up with Jeff Carter, easier said than done for sure, especially He's wrapped it up here early on in this one. Play there by Hartnell, while the puck hops over Lupul's stick. Lupul will take the huge hit from Orpik. Got the elbow up near his face. Well, Flyers get the puck toward the net. Coburn ends up getting his stick caught in the glass, so he's without his stick. Flyers get to the puck, though. Lupul, that's broken up by Crosby as he slid out. And now Kunitz tries to step up. He's chopped down by Carter. A strange sequence there. No penalties. Everything is allowed to go on. Coburn has gone back and gotten a new stick from the bench. Hartnell to the puck. And he'll one-handed into the Pittsburgh zone.
We might get to see a little more of letting the guys play with a veteran crew. They're all told by the supervisors of officials, Steve Walkham, to ref the same way, but these veteran guys might want to let them play a little bit.
You might have seen 2 penalties on each team in that last flurry, and I think I agree with Billy. It'd be great if they let them play here tonight with Brad Meyer and
Billy Mack.
Billy Mack.
Yeah, sure.
Long Gagne reaching for the puck at the Pittsburgh line, but it's Scuderi instead. He'll throw it out to center. Timo Timonen has it there. Ups it back to Ryan Parent. Asked Ryan how he felt after game 1. One injury he had late in the season. Said, I feel great. No problems whatsoever. Gagne setting that puck wide of Fleury. Back out toward the point. There's Malkin. Malkin drops to Fedotenko. Back to Malkin. Back to Fedotenko. Cutting in. Shot Mirror on the save. That's how a 3-on-3 with the Penguins is more dangerous than it is with most teams. On the rush, even. Pardon the redundancy there. It is dangerous. Malkin all tied up in the Philadelphia zone, and so an offside call here. Ryan Parent, Malkin. Yeah, they're definitely letting him play. That is confirmation right there. No penalty here, just the offside delayed, and it was then waved off as the puck was brought in by the Flyers.
But guess what? The next team that sneezes, watch. Somebody's going to get a penalty here pretty quick.
Yeah, they do have to at some point settle things. Kennedy moving on in. The pass into the slot. The shot Cook goes high and wide. That's that area that John Stevens says the Flyers have to do a better job of defending. Those slot shots. Here's Powell moving up. His shot blocked off by Mark Eaton and into the safety net. Outstanding pace here early on, and lots of stuff like this. Malkin, Parent introduce each other to one another, and we're going to see more of this for sure. Entertaining first half of period number 1. We want to hear from you and who you think is the Verizon Wireless star of the game. Just grab your mobile phone and text the word STAR to 53695. 53695 for your vote. Standard charges apply, or go to csnphilly.com. We no longer want the responsibility of picking the star of the game. It's up to you guys out there. Here's Kimmo Timonen with room. Wines, fire, save, Fleury. Who got that one with his stick. In the corner, Lucas Spiza makes a heavy hit from Letang. Jared Ross tumbles to the ice as he tried to help him out. Spiza showing his strength, knocks down Letang, and he's going to get the penalty. So Lucas Spiza will visit the penalty box in his first playoff game.
He might have gotten up a little high on Chris Letang.
Well, he's trying to fight off Letang, and Brad Meyer went over to make sure that Letang wasn't bleeding. But remember, Lucas Spiza is not playing a position he hasn't played before. He's played forward before, so this is not new. But right there, I like his aggressiveness, but he's got to be able to keep that lumber down. He got it right up into the middle of Letang. Let's say goes into the corner, fights off Letang. Now watch the stick right here. Bang. Just turns around in his aggressiveness. He's trying to be aggressive there, but you got to keep that stick down.
So here we are, a Penguins power play in period number 1, and they go right to work as Crosby takes the shot, and that one took off. The signal from Brad Myers, though, it might have caught iron or something of that, or perhaps a high stick as he's waved it off. It stayed out of the net. That's the most important thing. After some confusion over the amount of power plays the Penguins had in game 1, finally determined they had 8 of them, and they scored once. Here's Kunitz dropping it off for Crosby, and now Malkin. Pass back out, tipped all the way down the ice by Richards.
Penguins power play is somewhat predictable. They're all lefties on the starting forward unit with Malkin, Crosby, and Kunitz, so they set up on the right side. Even though they're predictable, they have enough skill to be dangerous every time out.
Crosby turns it on, backhander, glances off here on wide. Now back out Letang as Crosby took a heavy hit from Alberts. Puck rolls free to Malkin, all the way across. Letang shot deflected out high by Carter. Alberts got it ahead to Jeff, and he banks it off the boards all the way down. 53 seconds remain on the power play. Malkin checked by Hartnell. Giroux goes to a knee to knock the puck down, spins back with it, and sends it right back into the Pittsburgh zone as the Flyers waste some more time off that power play clock. Now Sergei Gonchar, the quarterback of this power play unit, moves up from the red line, winding it in. Knubel bumped along the wall, and Stahl able to get it back to Gonchar. Back across the ice and unable to handle it cleanly with Sikora, and the Flyers knock it away and clear.
Flyers sharp on the kill. Penguins with no rhythm on their power play.
Gonchar in search of that rhythm. Skips it in off the glass. Stahl. Yeoman like work along the boards and got it back to Eaton eventually. Across for Brooks Orpik. His shot deflected right into the slot. Loose Sikora shot blocked. Ricochets wide behind the net, and Guerin is there. Back out. That's intercepted. Spiza out of the box. His pass to Gagne. In across the line. Gagne drop pass Richards. Wrist shot went wide. Another prime scoring opportunity for Mike Richards. He hit the post 3 times in game 1 there. Just missed the target completely. Briere shot off Gagne in front and wide. Richards takes a heavy hit from Orpik. Got the puck to Gagne. He's wrapped up by Eaton. Briere quickly checked. Good work by Gagne, showing strength along the wall. Penalty upcoming against Pittsburgh. Gagne with the puck. Delayed call against the Penguins. Gagne tried to set her, but Eaton will intercept. There's the whistle, but Bill McCreary has spotted a holding infraction. And now the Flyers get a man advantage.
Boy, some awesome work along the wall by Simon Gagne, but that's what you get when you play in the other team's end and wear them down. You're going to end up in the power play sooner or later.
Boy, did he do a great job like you mentioned. Look at him get his body up against the wall. Now, both defensemen in there. Here you see you got Eaton. He's going to pick up the holding call. But look, Simone keeps the puck between Eaton and his body right between it. Can't get at it. As a result, Eaton ends up with the penalty and the first power play for the Philadelphia Flyers.
A chance for that all-important first goal in this game. 1 for 4 were the Flyers in game 1. Carl Rister, deflection, score! Hartnell was in front. Redirected it past Fleury, and the power play takes little time to strike. The Flyers take a 1-0 lead. They score for a case of tasty cakes.
So many good plays on this goal, starting with the face-off, then going back to a one-handed poke pass by Braden Coburn out at the blue line. Then just a quick shot with the net presence of Scott Hartnell in front. Good decision by Matt Carl.
It just shows you don't have to have an awful lot on it. Just get the puck on net. And that's all Matt Carl did. He fired it on net. Hartnell got in front, caused all sorts of problems for Fleury. Next thing you know, you're on the board. You don't have to come with that big slap shot all the time. Timing's everything. Hartnell, of course, doing a great job in front of Fleury.
7th career playoff goal for Scott Hartnell. Any Flyer goal would have been greeted by boos, but a goal by Scott Hartnell in particular gets boos from the sellout crowd at Mellon Arena. The Flyers have their first lead of the series. Hal Gill. And across the Philadelphia line, a backhander. Batted away by Murray, then kicked toward the net. Malkin picks it up out the other side. Kenny Malkin looking very dangerous early on in this game to Sikora out in front, and Carter in good position to tip that away. He gets a piece of Fedotenko, but here's Sikora. Quick shot goes wide. Back out the other side, Gill. Rips it in, but it's knocked down, and Carter will skate it up. Flyers getting a 3-on-2 if they hurry. Hartnell holding, winds, fires, block. Karam to Lupul. He'll let Carter play it right back to Lupul behind the net. Joffrey Lupul holding, looking for Carter, but Gill had other ideas. And then Carter wipes out, and that's a 3-on-2 the other way. Here's Malkin. Malkin all the way across the Cora. One-timer was checked, and so the puck just fluttering toward Biron, and he's able to grab it and hang on. So the Flyers power play gives them what they've been looking for, a lead. 1-0 Philadelphia.
So Scott Hartnell has given the Flyers something they never had in game 1, and that is the lead. His first goal of the playoffs. The faceoff was a problem for the Flyers in game 1. Look at Hartnell on the left of your screen. That could have been a Penguins win except for Hartnell. Then a dandy little lunge, one poke pass by Braden Coburn to Matt Carl, and then Scott Hartnell, who started it all off with helping Jeff Carter, finished it off.
That has to feel so good for Scott Hartnell after what happened in game 1 and all of what he's been talking about for the last 48 hours, answering questions about the discipline factor. Penguins right back at it here. Orpik a shot up high and wide. That puck was rolling. Richards, Crosby come together. The puck ahead to Mike Knuble. Stick goes flying. Knuble's shot batted to the corner by Fleury. Knuble goes and gets it. Knuble led all players with 7 hits in game 1. Puck will squirt free to the other side, and Orpik is there. Richards will get a piece of him as Orpik set the puck ahead. Kunitz across ice behind Crosby.
Good neutral zone presence for the Flyers.
Now Kunitz will tip it to the Philadelphia zone and pressure Ryan Parent. A piece of it. Oh, Parent's helmet comes flying off. He goes right back after Kunitz. I love that about Ryan Parent. He'll cough up the puck or whatever, but he comes right back at you.
That time he took the hit so that he didn't cough the puck up, and he still made the play.
And then got a piece of Kunitz to boot. There's Gagne with the backhand, went off the end of his stick. In fact, maybe a broken stick as he dropped it right after taking that shot. Alberts from the red line bounces it back in. Took a bit of a strange hop. Fleury reached back for it, and he'll give to Mark Eaton. Eaton, who had a goal in game 1, ahead off quick into the Philadelphia zone. Biron will play the puck. Eludes Jones. The Penguins go right to work. Here's Tyler Kennedy, pursued by Alberts. Kennedy out toward the line with it, then dropping it back down low for Cook. Cook to Stahl. Stahl taken into the boards by Powell, but he's so strong. And he gets some help from Kennedy, who backhanded it off the side of the net. Biron was hugging the post, and so he'll just pin it right there. Ready, set, grow. Show your Flyers spirit by growing one for the team. The Flyers Beardathon is on. Grow your beard and invite your friends, family, and co-workers to pledge money for your playoff beard. Can't grow a beard? Well, support your favorite Flyers players as they grow their playoff beards. All proceeds benefit Flyers charities. Visit the Flyers website /beard for more information. Coatsy, of course, is growing a beard for the team and for charity here in these playoffs. Coatsy, it's filling in.
It's filling in, but Simon Gagne got me. Called me Santa Claus today.
Well, you were on Coatsy's corner.
Yeah, well, that one time, but that was a... Yeah.
Oh, did I give that secret away? Nobody was supposed to know. I'm sorry. That wasn't you. That was the real Santa.
We're going to have to talk with you, Bill.
I'm sorry.
Those are company secrets. Jeez. Peter Sikora trying to center for the Penguins. That's intercepted. Flyers move up. Coburn joining the rush. 3-on-2. Although the Penguins getting back, and a poke check at the line made it an offside play, and then Lupul goes head over heels after that whistle had been blown. Face off in the neutral zone at 2:30. Tune to Comcast Sportsnet to gear up for Sunday's Flyers game. Flyers pregame live, and then after the game, turn to the Comcast Network for Flyers postgame live. Total Flyers playoff coverage starting at 2:30. Comcast Sportsnet and the Comcast Network. The game, of course, can be seen on NBC. We'll be back with you for Game 4 Tuesday night from the Wachovia Center. Loose puck. Carter jumps on it, cuts on in, shot, Fleury the save. He falls backwards, but he hasn't.
Oh, what a, there's Skinner is all over Carter, but Carter's going to use that acceleration once again. Now, look where Fleury is. Fleury's right outside that goal crease area. So Carter looked up, and Billy had nowhere to go.
No, Jeff Carter tried to make a play up high, but this play started with the Flyers putting pressure on the Penguins right here at the blue line, forcing a turnover, and that's what sprung Jeff Carter. You notice the Penguins' hitting game has disappeared after the Flyers scored. Flyers are now doing way more things right than wrong.
Gagne with a shot, save, Fleury, rebound, loose shot, Fleury stops Richards, penalty. There will be a penalty as the Flyers continue to push in the Pittsburgh zone, and they'll get a man advantage as a result.
Well, that puck was sitting right there for Mike Richards. Now Orpik is going to drag down Richards. Let's take a look. A lot of action right off of the face-off. As Billy had mentioned, this game has changed now because the heading away from Pittsburgh. Now the Flyers have taken control. Right here, watch Richards to your left, trying to get to the net, and he gets tripped right up in front of Fleury. He would have had a real good opportunity of getting a hold of that puck.
Flyers are coming on, looking to build on that 1-0 lead.
Orpik sits for interference. Flyers have caught back up in the shot category, 9 for each team now. And they go to work by winning the draw. Here's Richards taking the shot, deflection, kick, save, Fleury. That shot did not have much on it once it was deflected, but it was going in the net if Fleury didn't get his pad on it.
Marc-Andre Fleury demonstrated his telescopic leg. Mike Richards always looks to shoot first when he gets the puck back at the point of the power play. Fleury's momentum was carrying him. I'm telling you, it was a telescopic leg.
Telescopic leg, I like that. It worked. Flyers win another draw. Here's Richards faking the shot across for Tiemann, and he'll take one. Save Fleury. Knuble chopping away at it, but it rolls out to Cook. He'll skate it to center ice.
Flyers have won at least 5 offensive zone faceoffs that I've noticed.
Richards back with Cook harassing him. And now Tiemann, faceoffs, another area they knew they needed to improve on. Especially defensive zone draws, but on the power play, those offensive draws so important to get the power play started. And obviously, they got a goal off of one of those. The puck played by a high stick, so the faceoff will be in Pittsburgh ice.
Danny Briere won a faceoff. Mike Richards has won an offensive zone faceoff, as has Mike Carter. Also Jared Ross, so everybody's on board. Flyers were dismal in the faceoffs in Game 1.
Penguins with a 64% success rate in Game 1.
Now, Mike Richards and Jeff Carter took 32 total faceoffs in Game 1. They won a total of 7. of the 32.
Carter won't get a chance here. He's tossed out. Hartnell steps in against Talbot and won the draw. Here's Carl to Lupul. Lupul to Carter from the angle. The shot save. Rebound! It ends up behind and out the other side. Carter tried to bank it in, but it slid on through. Already much more uncomfortable evening for Marc-Andre Fleury. Now the other way. A shot off the glove of Biron, but played by Coburn.
He didn't face any kind of action like this until the third period of game one.
Still 53 seconds remaining on the power play. Less than 2 minutes in this first period. Coburn turning with it. Lupul. Out to Carl. He'll take the shot. Might have ricocheted off Hartnell again, but the save was made by Fleury. Now Hartnell tucking it to Carter. Surrounded by Pence. Tried to set her. That went off a couple of players. To Eaton, and he'll rifle it all the way down. A bouncer. Biron had to play carefully to the corner. Still time for one more foray in the offensive zone with this power play. Matt Carl starts him up. Pass ahead. Giroux trying to sneak through, could not, but the puck is kept in by Carl momentarily. And not the second time. Finally, it's out to center ice. Teaming him back to Carl. Still 7 seconds on the man advantage. Head fake in the pass to Giroux, reaching back. Moves the puck to Tiemann, and Tiemann will dump it in. Out of the box jumps Lopez. So the Penguins back to full strength. Flyers 1 for 2 in the power play in this one. Powell swarmed upon. Doing great work here. 3 Penguins eventually get the puck away from him. But it's stolen back by Giroux. From to Dasher for the shot, and Fleury made the save.
What a play by Claude Giroux.
What a pass in traffic after a great steal. And play was whistled down. Evidently, it caught the safety netting off of the save.
Oh, man. Darryl Powell needed a step ladder against Hal Gill. Went down on the play. And then Jordan Stahl mishandled. You hardly ever see that. I think Aaron Ashton might have been surprised by this pass.
I'm looking at a wide open net. It's flat, wide open right in front of me. And all of a sudden, Fleury just threw that right pad out there, guys.
Yeah, give Fleury a lot of credit for that save, man. He made himself big in a hurry to spread out.
Darn telescopic leg again.
Got an arm, too.
The arm. Here's Crosby moving over. Wrist shot. Easy save there for Biron. The rebound handled eventually by Tiemann. Half minute remaining in this first period. Been a good period for the Flyers. They've now outshot the Penguins 14-11. Richards turning the puck deep into the Pittsburgh zone. Orpik is back to play.
When's the last Penguin hit you saw?
Before the Flyer goal, I do believe. Here is Letang moving on up. That shot snared by Biron. Is going to hang on to it with just 6.8 seconds remaining in the period. Flyers are hungry for more playoffs. They come home to take on Sidney Crosby and these Penguins on Sunday at the Wachovia Center. 3 o'clock start, then Tuesday game 4 is at 7 o'clock. April the 21st. Don't miss any of the Flyers hockey action as they battle their cross-state rivals. Call 215-218-PUCK or visit PhiladelphiaFlyers.com now to reserve your seats. This is entertaining stuff. This has been a great first period. Speed and intensity, the physicality of it all. Tiemann saw Crosby coming and gave him a shot as this period comes to an end. And Malkin and the Penguins didn't like that. And you knew when it was Crosby who got hit that this was going to happen. And it was Malkin coming to his aid.
And Braden Coburn wrapped up with Evgeny Malkin. They've got them separated. Scott Hartnell collared Chris Kunitz from behind.
Carter had Gonchar, but it was Tiemann who saw Crosby coming at him, and Tiemann has taken a ton of punishment in the first 4 periods of this series, so he said not this time, and he stunned Crosby with a shot. And once you hit Crosby, you're going to get a response from these Penguins. Well, Fleury was very good. He stopped 13 Flyer shots. Marty Biron perfect on 12 Penguin offerings. Scotty Hartnell gets the only goal of period number 1 on a deflection. The power play. They're still pushing and shoving. Having trouble getting the players off the ice. Bill McCreary having a say with Scott Hartnell, telling him to head to the Flyer locker room. And so the scene is set for a great second period of action. Tonight's Flyers Penguins first period was brought to you by McDonald's McCafe Coffees. Try hot or iced mochas, lattes, and cappuccinos. McDonald's, I'm loving it. And by Geico, 15 minutes could save you 15% on car insurance. Visit us at geico.com or call 1-800-947-AUTO. and by Buick Pontiac GMC. Visit bpgsuperdeals.com. Here's what we have in store for you between periods 1 and 2. As usual, Coachy's Corner will get things started as he will talk about a book, God Bless the Spectrum. Also, we'll hear from Michael Barkat and Al Morganti, get their analysis, highlights of period number 1. And there's a lot to analyze. It was a heck of a first period. Flyers have the lead 1-0 through 20 minutes of play. They outshoot Pittsburgh 14-12. Coachy's Corner after these messages. Tonight's second period from Mellon Arena is brought to you by Dodge. Live strong, live bold, live now. Dodge, grab life. And by Virtua, the specialist, top docks.
Stall up.
Yeah. Dodge summary, just the one goal. Deflection for Scotty Hartnell. Day shy of his 27th birthday, picks up a playoff goal.
Numbers inside the game look like this, with the Flyers out shooting the Penguins. Little edge in the scoring chances. Better on the faceoffs, far better. In spite of the fact that the Penguins started hitting everything in sight, the Flyers ended up with 14 hits of their own.
And Scott Hartnell scoring for a case of tasty cakes for every goal scored by the Flyers in this game. Flyers Tasty Cake will be making a donation to Flyers charities. The Flyers with the lead after the first period, only the 5th time in their last 27 games they can say that, but it's an important lead. As we mentioned, Scotty Hartnell turning 27 tomorrow. Shares his birthday with Al Sims, Blake Dunlop, Larry Kamensky, Cody McCormick, but happy birthday a day ahead of time for Scotty Hartnell. He has a goal to help celebrate it. Sure, in the end, he wants a win to be celebrating on his birthday tomorrow. Second period underway. Tyler Kennedy spinning the puck into the Philadelphia zone, but Carter quickly right back out to Hartnell, and now it's Hal Gill bouncing one on through the neutral zone. Hartnell there, he's flipped it. Jordan Staal will send it back into the Philadelphia zone. Marty Biron for Braden Coburn has time to turn with it. Sent it right off Stahl's skate. Turnover, 2-on-1. Stahl cutting in, backhander save, Biron, rebound, Cook, stopped by Carter. What isn't he doing in this game? As Jeff Carter got behind Biron after it ricocheted around and would have been going in on goal. Gillis shot deflected wide. Sloppy start for the Flyers. They'll try to move it the other way, but Lupul ridden off by Cook. And now it's tipped back into the zone, and here's Kennedy. And Coburn gets there first. Head ahead for Hartnell. And he got it to Lupul. Lupul was checked, and Pittsburgh has the puck right back. Flyers trying to make a change. Second period, of course, much more difficult with the benches are located.
The Penguins have made a change, and the Flyers haven't been able to yet, at least not Jeff Carter. He's still out there.
Crosby out to Orpik. Tired players on the ice. Point shot goes wide to Crosby. Shot glances off Biron. Gagne clears, but not out. Shot goes wide from the point side of the net. Bounces in front. Biron reaching for it. He's got it. Finally, the whistle blows, and the Flyers happy that it did.
Marty Biron, though, really sticky and way on top of his game. A dandy save on Jordan Staal moments ago. This is unlike Braden Coburn to try to pass through somebody, especially when the guy's as big as Jordan Staal.
Well, you got to give Jeff Carter an awful lot of credit there. Marty owes him a dinner because that puck came right across, but Carter had the wherewithal just be able to get himself to that pipe and make the save.
Marty might say, Braden will pay for your dinner. Because Marty just made a great save, and of course the series taking place after the turnover. Here's Crosby moving on in. Parent stayed with him. Backhanded in front by Guerin off a shin pad to Gagne. Blind clear, doesn't make it. Orpik across. Gonchar decides to peel back. Flyers get the puck, and Richards will get it into the Pittsburgh zone for the first time in the period. Knuble. Mike Knuble turning with it. Takes a hit. Got the puck to Richards. He lost control. Gagne goes and gets it. Gagne to the point. Coburn quickly along the boards. That's going to skitter all the way along to the other side of the ice. Carl pitches on in. Knuble, good work to get the puck to Gagne. Now Carl trying to go cross ice, but it's tipped out to center by Kunitz. Racing back to get to it is Coburn. Coburn picks up speed into the Pittsburgh zone, holds on, and then tried to put it in front, but Orpik knocked that aside. Coburn keeps it in with the skate, backhands one, keeping it alive in front was Briere as he was tied up. Pittsburgh has the puck and moves it ahead. Here's Malkin. Kenny Malkin waiting and hitting the cutting by the take over the shot. Biron got just a piece of it with the glove and it dribbled wide. And Powell will clear it ahead. Oh, the Penguins getting some quality chances here early in the second.
Well, you know, Fedotenko, the former Flyer, has had a great success against the Philadelphia Flyers. And boy, what a great save. Marty didn't get the whole puck, but he got enough of it just to nullify that far post. Great shot, though, great save.
Crowd is back into it now with the Penguins assertive here early in the second. Over to Carl, long pass, Briere took it into the zone, but offside.
Now, Marty Biron, the answer to the question, when is half a puck enough? When you get the inside half of it, and the outside half rolls wide. Fedotenko was trying to beat him high to the glove, and Biron's momentum, you could see, was taking him to his right.
Maybe a quarter of it. He just barely got a piece. Enough, though. Flyers in another draw. They had a slight edge in the faceoffs in period number one. Jones trying to keep it in, but it's chopped out to center ice. Alberts finding Jared Ross, and he'll scoop it into the Pittsburgh zone. Chris Letang goes back. Diminutive defenseman, but very creative. Home run pass here for Dupuis. Bounces off of Jones in the corner. Dupuis. Jones gets a piece of him. And then the puck, but only as far as Eaton. Back along for Dupuis. Behind the net, ricochets off of Craig Adams, and then gathered by Ross. Huntsville, Alabama, moving the puck ahead. Spiza will backhand in. He chases, Fleury beats him to it. Head for Talbot, checked by Carter, but Talbot able to recover and flutter it out to center ice. Tiemannin's pass bounces around. Asham finally controls, and from the red line will send it in. Just over 4 minutes of this second period. Still 1-0 Philadelphia. Marty Biron has been very good here, especially early in this second period. Tiemannin takes yet another hit as he plays the puck to Ryan Parent. Outletting Lupul. Lupul with speed up the right wing. Not get past Al Gill. It is swatted deep into the zone by Parent. Now Scuderi looking for Kennedy. Pinching was Alberts. Carter battling the bouncing puck. Rams it back deep into the Pittsburgh zone, but there is Scuderi. Well, big Al Gill, and he'll settle things. Flyers will change as Gill lopes up towards center ice. Set it off. Quick stick into the Philadelphia zone. Andre Alberts is there for Knuble. Quickly to Richards, and across ice it goes. Flyers moving up smartly here. Send it all the way in. Alberts and Cook having words behind the play. And play is stopped. Now Morganti has an update. Back in the studio.
Indeed we do, JJ. Still in the first period in Jersey. Devils trying to go up a couple on the Canes on the power play. Martin at the point. It gets set up. Tough guys go to tough areas. Zach Parisi tips it past Cam Ward. 1-0. Devils lead Hurricanes. JJ, Bill.
All right, Al. Some of the numbers from that 3-6 matchup. The Devils, from all accounts, were outstanding in game one. Just played textbook hockey, and they're off to a good starting game, too. There's Sidney Crosby to the backhand. That one off of Biron at the side of the net. All the way out to Mike Knuble. His pass behind Gagne. Gagne cancel. Richards jumps in the loose puck. Now Gagne's shot blocked. Second try back around behind for Richards. Through the blue paint, but no one home for Philadelphia. Here's Crosby on the rush. So dangerous. And across the line, finds Guerin. Guerin with a wrist shot. Blocked up by Richards. Second try off Biron's stick at the side of the net. Now Crosby has it again. Swings it down low. Kunitz. Got body position. Crosby checked by Richards, and he'll stuff it out of the zone and all the way down, and it will have enough steam on it to cross the goal line. Icing is the call.
Now is the time to reserve your 2009-2010 season tickets. Guarantee yourself playoff tickets for every game and enjoy great season ticket holder benefits, which include significant discounts from box office pricing, flexible payment plans, exclusive VIP experiences, and chances to meet your favorite players. Call 215-218-BUCK or visit the Flyers website. Right off the draw, Fedotenko, a shot that went wide, and then a shot from the point that Biron is able to handle as Letang fired. So early on, second period, lots of shots at Biron, but he's held steady.
The Flyers lead this game 1-0, and Marty Biron has seen a lot of shots come from angles. The Flyers have done a pretty good job at that, but when the Penguins have gotten to the inside of the ice, Marty's had to be really sharp. You can see a lot of these shots are angle shots. The Penguins with good net presence, hunting for rebounds. That one was dead center. All right, Jeff Carter got a piece of that last one.
Haven't all been pretty saves for Marty, but he's gotten the job done. Coburn and Cook come together. Flyers move up. Carter rips one in from center. Fleury the save, and into the safety netting it went. Offensive zone draw for Jeff Carter and the Flyers ahead. Well, Carter's going to head to the bench instead.
Jeff Carter started this game so prepared to play, so willing to meet the physical challenge that he knew Jordan Staal and Hal Gill were going to present for him.
One thing for sure as we look at Carter going back to the bench, he's able to get on the board. Right now, he's got one of the saves of the game. And I'm not producing.
Every time you say you're not, we know you are.
Yeah, but one thing for sure is the Pittsburgh Penguins, they're finishing their checks every chance they get. As you see right there, face-off one, Carl with a good shot from the point once again.
Powell gets tangled up with Letang after the fact. Darryl Powell earning a promotion to play with Claude Giroux and Danny Briere just from his play.
Quick face-off wins, and a good one there by Claude Giroux, and the quick shot. You can't get your defensive coverage in shape when you lose a draw cleanly. And the Penguins immediately sent out Maxim Talbot for the Penguins to take this draw, and he's getting kicked out.
Now Morgani referenced during the intermission that the Flyers had a problem with the way the Penguins were taking draws in game one. I actually witnessed John Stevens talking to Mick Magoo, one of the NHL official supervisors working this series. And perhaps it's changed a little here. Talbot to Fedotenko for a shot. Biron again made the save. Fedotenko, couple chances here in this second period. Point shot there, fended off by Biron as Letang got that in on goal. Penguins are swarming. Back to the point. Eaton shot blocked by Carl, and now it's ahead from Giroux. But that ends up back on Eaton's stick. Fedotenko met by Jones. The puck right along the wall, right at the blue line. Evidently it's underneath Fedotenko, and so finally the whistle stops play.
Talked about faceoffs. Paul Holmgren referenced this before the game. The Flyers talked to the officials between games 1 and 2. That was yesterday, about how the visiting team, in this case the Flyers, had to have their sticks set. The Penguins weren't setting their sticks. They were coming in with giant swipes at the puck with great momentum and body momentum coming into the draws. That's why the officials are really watching the Penguins, because they took note. The Flyers showed them some replays, and they said, you know what, you may have a point there.
Perhaps it has paid dividends. That's also part of what goes on during a playoff series. Jared Ross moving in, takes the hit from Orpik. Crosby's there to pick up the loose change, and he's going to start up. Sidney Crosby, the quick right wing pass to Guerin. Guerin back for Crosby, never got his stick on it, and Biron scoops it up and puts a halt to play.
Sidney Crosby is so dangerous when he has room between the blue lines to get up that great speed and power. You want to try to force it off his stick. That time he went to Billy Guerin and just decided to go with the center lane drive. By and large, as great as Sidney Crosby and Evgeny Malkin are, the Flyers have done a good job on them.
That draw was exactly what the Flyers were talking about. Crosby finished on the downswing as the puck was dropped, so they got away with it there. He won the draw, but the Flyers get the puck back. It bounces off a Knuble into the Pittsburgh zone. Flyers get the puck back, and here's Gagne moving on in off the left wing. Turns with it, looks for and finds Parrott for the shot. Save Fleury. Guerin to the rebound, and he'll float it out to center. Race for the puck. Out comes Biron. He beats Kunitz to it, and he does clear the zone.
Flyers had their fourth line out there, Ross, so Pittsburgh took full advantage, sticking Crosby out there. John Stevens picked up on it right away, and as soon as they had the opportunity, they got the Richards line back out there.
Malkin hammered by Alberts. Alberts has been very physical in this game. Hartnell charging up the left wing, hearing boos from the fans. Slams on the brakes, dishes cross ice, but Fedotenko was ready for that. He's bumped by Lupul, though, and the puck pops to the corner.
I don't think they like Scott's hair here.
No, I don't think they like Scott's hair, his uniform, his smile, anything about Scott Hartnell, to be honest with you. And he's such a likable guy if they only knew him, right?
That's just the way he wants it right about now, though.
That is a fact. Scuderi back to pick up the puck for the Penguins. Pace is slowed some, which isn't a problem for the Flyers because the first 5 minutes of this period, Penguins were top gear. Here's Lupul looking for, but just behind Claude Giroux with that pass, and Fedotenko gobbles it up.
Those kinds of little plays into the middle, heading towards the net, are really hard to make against the Penguins. You almost have to think about shooting and letting that center lane guy go for the rebound.
Here's a shot, Kennedy, and that one skips off. Biron goes wide, and then all the way out to Markey. For Kennedy. His pass to a cutting Cook, quickly tipped away by Coburn. Ooh, Marty Biron nearly handled that puck outside the trapezoid. Got away with it, but here's Eaton with room for a blast. And that blocked in front. It hit Cook. And now Carl trying to outlet Briere, but the pass too far ahead of him. Goes all the way down, but will not be icing. Eaton will be pressured by Powell and Briere, but he does clear the zone. Carl is back. For Powell in center, and it skips out of play, leading to the whistle. After the game, Michael Barkat, Al Morgani, and Friend break down game 2. Bill Collette, Steve Coates are here in Pittsburgh. Live reaction. Dodge presents Flyers post-game live only on Comcast Sportsnet. Post-game shows in the postseason, so much fun because everything is analyzed, Bill. Every play, every aspect of the game. And the Flyers, I think, were getting tired of talking about their lack of discipline in game 1, but maybe that's the way you get more discipline. If you talk about it all that much, Biron snares that shot.
Well, you have to answer all the questions, and there's time on the off day.
Exactly.
But the Flyers, to me, were just a completely different team. They seemed there was just a different vibe around them yesterday and today.
Marty's played a lot against the Penguins. Back in his days in Buffalo. And of course, as a Flyer goaltender.
Now, I'll tell you what the Flyers have done. They weathered the big physical Pittsburgh storm in the first period. The Penguins came out with that same kind of resolve here in the second, and the Flyers have weathered that, and now things have settled down.
Yeah, the 2 periods have certainly looked similar in that vein. Flyers wouldn't mind if they look similar in terms of the scoreboard by the end of this second period as well. Knuble moving it in across the line and then nudging it deep to Pittsburgh ice. Gonchar looking for it. He's dumped to the ice by Richards. Here's Parent with the puck. Shot! Save flurry. Knuble was there, but it popped past him, and now counter rush for the Penguins. Crosby with the puck. Crosby back. Big shot. Gonchar, and Biron takes it in the midsection up near the shoulder, actually, and hangs on. As Bill Clement says, he was sticky. No rebound.
Playoff update from New Jersey. Oh, brother, it's going to be a doozy. Time winding down in the first period. Canes have possession of the puck. Whitney gets the puck, cranks it toward the net. Martin Brodeur, and that would be Stahl brother named Eric, who ties it 1-1 after the first period now in Jersey. It's a good one going. JJ, Bill.
Thank you, Al. There you see the breakdown, and Bill is just pointing out that all the Stahls are actually involved right there in the Eastern Conference playoffs.
Yep, Mark Stahl on the blue line for the Rangers. Well, brother, where art thou? I'll tell you where I am. I'm in the playoffs. Leave me alone.
That's right. All 3 in the playoffs and somehow not playing against one another in the same conference. That worked out well for the Stahl parents for now. Could change in the second round, although the Flyers certainly don't want Jordan anywhere to be seen in the second round of the playoffs. Penalty upcoming here. A slash coming up on Carl. And Bill McCreary, as always, with his emphatic point to the penalty box. Matt Carl will end up in the box at a power play opportunity for the Penguins.
And there's the size of Stahl showing right there. 6'4", 215 pounds. He's a great skater. He's got the big stride. On top of that, look where he's got this puck. He'll protect the puck way out to the left. But you see Matt Carl, and this is something that players are doing an awful lot of. And Philly, you and I have been talking about it. As soon as they get hit like that, now they give it a little bit of emotion showing that they did get hit.
I have a big problem with plays like that, no matter who ends up being guilty of the slash. That was a one-hand tap, and Matt Carl is being penalized because Jordan Stahl's gloves weren't strong enough.
So, a power play for the Penguins. Gonchar, the blast. Accepted by Marty Biron, and again, no rebound, and he had some traffic in front of him, but Marty did not seem bothered at all.
See where he was, though. Gonchar's shot, Marty Biron was 2.5 feet out of the crease to cut down the angle. That's a sign that he is on top of his game. Not only on top of the crease, but really in his zone when he's sticky and when he's aggressive on the shooters.
Penguins win the draw. Gonchar couldn't get that over the head of Timonen, and now Richards hooked from behind. Penalty! They thought about it. Saw it was Crosby, thought again, and then thought again, and said it is a penalty. And so as the Penguins touch the puck, whistle blows, and now he gets some pushing and shoving here as Powell is involved with Letang, but it's Crosby who will make a visit to the sin bin. Was a delayed call right there, more ways than one.
It's Richards that does a great job of knocking the puck out of the air, bringing it down. Now he's going to skate it out. Now, he's got a little bit of a lead on Crosby, so Crosby's coming from behind. And boy, there was just that little delay, Jimmy, where I didn't think he was going to make the call. All of a sudden, up went the arm.
So we get some 4-on-4. Eventually, about a 30-second power play for the Flyers. Given the personnel on these two teams, Bill, any advantage 4-on-4 either way?
Depends on who's on the ice. Malkin's out there, and so is Jeff Carter, so I would call this a saw-off because Carter can navigate in 4-on-4 as well as Malkin can.
Orpik keeps this puck in. Orpik from the angle, cross ice, and Malkin unable to make contact with a one-timer. Hartnell back the other way with speed. And he gained the line, tried to come to a stop, and Scuderi, good read, knocked it away from him. Braden Coburn goes back to get it. Now Jones, rink wide feet on the money to Hartnell. He'll wind, he'll blast. Glove save, Fleury, as he throws the arm up with flair, makes the save.
Not sure this shot wasn't going wide. Scott Hartnell made the right decision. He was running out of real estate and had 4 Penguins back. Why not?
With Fleury out that far, I don't think that Scotty Hartnell was looking at anything else but a goalie. He couldn't have seen that net behind. But the bottom line is he got a heck of a shot off, and that's the key. Just shoot the puck. Things are going to happen.
45 seconds remaining on the Carl penalty, and then a brief power play for Philadelphia. Here's a steal by Gagne. Richards coming late. There's the pass. He'll wind and blast. Save, Fleury. Puck bouncing high in the air. Richards spots it. After it behind the net. He's got it. Back out. Coburn across for Parent. Parent's just going to flip that one off the back wall. Richards for Gagne. Gagne working away from Gonchar. All the way out toward the line. Tough pass for Parent, but he handles it nicely. Winds it deep, but Fleury is up to that. Punts it to Heaton, who turns it over. Here's Richards. Sidestepping it, check, turning it in front. And it goes to Fleury as Gagne was looking for it.
Pretty good defensive play by Sergei Gonchar to box Gagne out. Marc-Andre Fleury really benefited when Dan Bilesma came here. He seemed to turn into a player that didn't look like he was playing under any pressure. Dan Bilesma has had a real calming effect on most of the young Penguins.
Amazing when you look around the playoffs. A lot of coaches who did not start the season behind the bench with their teams, in the postseason. Paul Maurice, John Tortorella, Joel Quenneville, Dan Bilesma. I mean, the list goes on, and you make those changes in hopes of getting into the playoffs, and some of those teams are able to do just that. Claude Giroux from the red line, winding it deep into the Pittsburgh zone. Briere looking for Powell. He was checked. Flyers on the power play for 7 more seconds. Timonen having trouble with his balance there, and finally Adams clears, and that'll do it. So an abbreviated man advantage is gone. 1-0 Flyers, 6:38 to go, second period. Claude Giroux accepts the pass with speed. Drops for Powell. Powell, quick shot off the stick to the corner. Carl in deep. The pass that did not be handled cleanly at first by Giroux, and then Powell is manhandled along the wall, and the Penguins move up. Here's Jordan Staal, 3-on-2. Flyers are caught. Crosby for Staal. He couldn't handle it cleanly. Now try to get it back out in front. It goes up the wall. Powell, perhaps at the end of his shift, unable to get back at that puck. Here's Staal holding. Shot blocked off by Giroux. Back to Staal. Staal all the way out to Eaton. Now Eaton plays it in along for Cook. Cook checked by Giroux. Coburn dug the puck loose, but Staal is over after it. Coburn got to him as well, and now Giroux has it. Flyers needing to get a change here. Powell will help that out by backhanding in. Flyers get fresh legs on the ice. Tang dancing to center ice, backhands right to Timonen. Timonen, though, could not get it past Malkin, who just jumped off the bench, finds Crosby, and off his stick. And his pass intercepted by Hartnell, but he is checked by Malkin. Carter's there to swat it to center ice. Crosby and Malkin on the ice together there, but only as a change was taking place, as Crosby's gone to the bench now. Malkin remains. Penguins are behind. Osmo will put those two together. Here's a big shot, Sikora, and the leather of Marty Biron makes the save, and the Flyers remain ahead by 1. Marty Biron has been very good in this game, 23 saves. Let's flash back, shall we, to a previous Flyers-Penguins playoff matchup, 1989, Game 7. Ron Hextall came up lame. Ken Reggett stepped in and was spectacular as the Flyers won Game 7, defeating the Penguins 4-1. Moving on to the Wales Conference Finals. So, great goaltender performances by the Flyers versus the Penguins in the playoffs. Not unique. Remember Ryan Boucher playing so well back in the 2000 playoffs. The Flyers came back from a 2-0 series deficit to win that series. Penguins keeping the puck in here. Scuderi backhands it along. Cook after it. Carl digging away. A Staal back toward the point, but it eludes Scuderi. He'll have to play it back into his own zone. Cross for Gill. Run at by Hartnell. And the puck settle on the boards. Hartnell got it to Lupul. Lupul, the shot blocked in front by a diving Scuderi. Big hit in the corner. And Lupul slow getting back up from that one. Joffrey Lupul stung by that hit. Flyers get the puck back. Lupul's going to stay on the ice and go after the puck here. Now he's going to head off the ice. I don't think he's feeling all that well right now.
He's got just tattooed a couple of times in this game.
Offside at the Philadelphia line. Well, it has been a physical contest.
Well, at least he's smiling.
Yes.
I'm not sure he wanted the tattoos. They were unauthorized. But Scott Hartnell hitting the biggest man in this series and hitting him hard. That was Hal Gill.
And Lupul paying for Hartnell's hit. Gill didn't really get the number right, or it didn't care what the number was. He was getting a Flyer jersey back after he took the big hit. So the Flyers move on up here. Spiza across for Asham into the Pittsburgh zone. Very brief shift for the fourth Flyer line.
Because they were out there against Crosby's line. Coachy pointed that out earlier, and John Stevens having to do some quick coaching.
And again, tougher to do in the second period, but they got it executed, the line change.
Well, that's why you have to take your change when you can get it. If you get into your end, you've got 1.5 miles to get to the bench.
Knuble doing some work in the corner. To fight off the checking attempts. Brooks Orpik got it to Gagne for a shot. The save made by Fleury. The rebound bounce. Richards comes crashing in after it. Malkin fanning on a pass. And Knuble trying to get that puck along the boards to Gagne, but it didn't make it. And here's Malkin recovering, swooping on in his cross ice pass. The shot, and they score! Billy Guerin from Malkin beats Bira, and this game is tied at 1.
Dan Bilesma putting his high-octane guys out there together. Evgeny Malkin, Sidney Crosby, and Billy Guerin. This is a pretty nifty play by Malkin. What a pass. He threaded that right between Simon Gagne's stick and his skates. And that was just inside the post. What a shot by Guerin.
Malkin puts it right on the tape. Now, Billy Guerin is a right-hand shot, so he's facing everything. He sees where he wants to go with it. And you saw Alberts right at the last second trying to just dive in front of that shot, went right over him and beat Marty just between the pipe and the blocker. But what a shot. You know that Guerin can shoot it, and right there is flat-out proof one of the better goal scorers ever to play this game, because he just took that one-timer. But remember, the key is if the pass is on the money like it was, Billy can let that shot go quickly.
Yeah, he can, but looking again at that replay of Marty Biron's body posture, he seemed to flinch as the shot was going by him, which leads me to believe it might have touched Andrew Alberts on the way by and changed directions.
Boys will often say just leave the shooter alone, let him see it, but right there you can understand Alberts where Guerin was on the ice trying to block the shot. So we're tied at 1. Giroux cross ice, left back for Alberts. His shot went just wide, bounces out the other side to Jones. He'll wrist it in the slot, but Giroux is checked by Sikora. Briere back to Alberts, another shot. That one rips wide. All the way out to Jones again. So the Flyers come back with some pressure. Briere overskated, got it back, tried to tuck it in, but Fleury held the post and play is halted.
Well, Evgeny Malkin was the assist leader in the NHL during the regular season because of passes like this one. I'm going to take another look at it. Keep your eye on Marty Biron here. Either he was screened or it touched Andrew Alberts, but that replay didn't look like it touched anything.
He might have been screened by the diving defenseman.
Yeah.
Didn't see the puck right from the stick.
You can see that was just drilled. It just got over Alberts, but I had to take another look at it, Billy, because you had a good point. But I think Marty might have been just a little bit slow getting from left to right there on that east-west play.
Not sure he was able to pick it up visually until it got over Andrew Alberts either, and then that left him no time to react.
And then it just snuck inside the post, and the great shot by Guerin. So this one's tied at 1. 2:17 to go here in this second period. Flyers responded well to the goal. Had a good shift deep in the Pittsburgh zone. Right here, though, Carl grabbed by Cook. Does flip the puck ahead to Lupul. Lupul couldn't find it. Talbot kept it in the zone. Now it's muscled out. Gill with it in traffic. Bounced it as far as the Flyer line. Now brought in onside by Kennedy. Turns back with it. His quick shot. Save made by Vera. Carter trying to finish Talbot behind the net. Coburn takes care of his man. And the Flyers move up. Joffrey Lupul with it. Al Gill is there. Gets up high. Dropped it back for Hartnell. The shot. Save made by Fleury. And he'll hang on. That was a high check on Lupul, but no call there.
Let's take a look at our Wachovia. Great check of the game. Right here, Mike Knubel. Let's just finish off Sidney Crosby. Don't worry about anything else. Didn't look for the puck. Just said, listen, I'm going to take him out. And he didn't take him out in a dirty fashion. If he wanted to, he could have drilled him right up against the glass. But he didn't. He just said, okay. He held on to him a little bit, made sure he knocked him off the puck. And that is why it's our Wachovia. Great check of the game.
If he drilled him up against the glass, he might be absent for game 3.
Yeah, that might be our check of the game because Mike showed the discipline the Flyers need to show. He got the job done from a hockey standpoint. He eliminated Crosby from the play, and yet he did not get a penalty.
He didn't bounce the Wachovia check.
You're on tonight, my friend. Telescopic legs, Wachovia checks. Knubel tied after the first game of all the series. League leadership in hits with those 7 in game 1. He's obviously added to that total here in game 2. Flyers get the puck in front. Knubel was there, but it never got to him. Moved out to center. Kunitz across. Gonchar winds it in. Marty chant from the fans here. Knubel bumped by Crosby, and this time he's unable to eliminate him, and Crosby moves ahead with the puck. Barrett comes over, though, and he eliminates him. Barrett ahead for Gagne, and he'll clear the zone. Gonchar dropping it back to Brooks Orpik. Important area of the period here. Gagne flagging down the pass, and they rule it was with a high stick. Simone didn't like that call.
It's a good call, though.
Yeah, Simone didn't like it because the Flyers would have been in on a 9-man rush, and now you get a gathering at the red line.
Brooks Orpik and Mike Richards. The reason Orpik and Richards came together after this whistle was blown because of that hit. Little tap back.
Richie seems to have Orpik in the crosshairs here today.
You know what? Orpik is the best hitter that the Penguins have on their blue line, so you have to target him too, and Mike Richards knows that. Orpik's bigger than Richards, but his heart isn't any bigger.
Mark Eaton scrambling for a puck in center. Coburn had trouble. Ball got behind him, but a good rotation back by Jeff Carter, who's played a good two-way game here. But Malkin ends up with the puck, trying to center that one off. Carl behind the net. Carter's there again, trying to clear, but Scuderi keeps it in. Malkin off the wall with it. Flyers just swarm upon him. 4 Flyers were in the area. And Coburn will move up and clear in from the red line. Fleury checked as Giroux got in there. Final 14 seconds of the period. One more rush for the Penguins. Look out as Talbot moves up for Stahl. Carl gets back. Couldn't clear as Stahl poked it deeper. Malkin to it, centered it in front. And the shot went off a body wide. 2 seconds. Malkin angled shot, tucked back behind the net by Biron. That's it. Second period is history. Biron has stopped 25 of 26 Pittsburgh Penguin shots. Fleury 22 of 23 Philadelphia shots. And so this is a 1-1 game through 40 minutes of play. A good one here at Mellon Arena. Tonight's Flyers Penguins second period was brought to you by Independence Blue Cross. When you have the most preferred health plan in the region, you'll never feel alone. And by your Quality Plus Ford dealers. It was coming up between periods 2 and 3. Playoff update. More updates on that Carolina-New Jersey game from Michael and Al. They'll also analyze this one. And so will Bill and I. So plenty coming up between periods 2 and 3. Including time for me to tell you about catching all the exciting Flyers hockey action from a lower level seat with a group of your friends, family, or coworkers. Flyers single event suites, including a private bar, waitstaff, and restrooms. Secure your suite now to any of the Flyers round 1 playoff games as they take on the Penguins. Sunday at 3, Tuesday at 7 in games 3 and 4, respectively. Call 215-389-9500 or visit mypremiumtix.com. Michael Barkan and Al Morgani with a playoff update after this. FR. And by the Pennsylvania Lottery benefits older Pennsylvanians. Every day must be 18 or older to play. Please play responsibly. Exciting first 2 periods of play. There's our Dodge summary of the second stanza. Billy Guerin getting the only goal late in the period from Malkin and Crosby. 1-1 through 40 minutes.
I know we have to do this because the good folks at Dodge are very good to us, but forget about all of these numbers. The only 2 that matter are 1 and 1, the score.
Forget about the numbers. Don't forget about Dodge. Right? Remember Dodge.
That's why I said what I did.
Well done. Bill Guerin, 29 career playoff goals.
Played on 6 teams in the NHL, and he has represented them all in the playoffs. So he hasn't just hung around watching everybody else.
Flyers just 2 regulation losses. When tied after 2. Penguins not tied as much after 2 periods of play. Flyers have been a good third period team for most of the year. Of course, did give up that third period lead in the season finale, which is why we're in Pittsburgh right now, not Philadelphia. But this is not a lead. This is a tie game, 1-1. As the third period gets underway, Hal Gill reaching back to get the puck. Ahead, and it's tipped into the Philadelphia zone. Cook swoops to it. Cook in front! They bank it, and it somehow didn't go in! Stahl set it off. Biron, I don't know how it stayed out of the net.
I think Marty, just trying to get over there, might have been able to grab the puck with one of his skate blades.
Here they come again. Stahl in across the line. Drop pass Gill's shot accepted by Biron. Will get another look. That was close to an early goal for the Penguins.
I know that everybody in that end of the building was on their feet cheering because they thought they had one. Matt Cook made a real good cut to the net when he centered it across. Did it even get there?
Maybe it didn't even get on goal. Yeah.
No, Marty did get a piece of it, didn't he, with his leg?
He fired that one right back into Marty. Marty was just coming right across, and instead of Stahl going to the net, he actually fired it right back into the goalkeeper.
Flyers now coming at the Penguin net. Here's Gagne's shot blocked off by Gonchar. Back to Timonen. His shot blocked as Crosby sacrificed. Down low. Knuble or Gagne. Now on for Richards. Richards tried to sneak that in front. Could not. Now he got it through to Gagne. Back out Timonen. Fakes the shot. No shooting lane. So they'll send it in along the boards for Knuble. Orpik gets in his way. Knuble has to pull back. Risk a penalty. Nothing called. Richards got the puck anyway to Timonen. Wrist shot blocked. 3 shot blocks by the Penguins in that sequence in their defensive zone. There's Gagne. Running with it. Entering the zone and dishing to Richards. And the wrister off of Gagne. Bounces to Fleury. Couldn't control it cleanly. Flyers need a change here. Gagne and Knuble are heading off. Richards is still out on the ice as Gonchar moves up. The pass tipped by Richards. Carl, now battling a bouncing disc, is able to get to it. And his pass to Giroux, flying through center ice. Giroux cutting on in, swerves to the right, drops it back. Brière's shot, but that's tipped out of play by Kennedy. I'll make that Chris Letang got his stick out on.
Good pressure by the Flyers. One thing they know is that when they get deep in the Penguin zone, their defensemen are open, the Flyers are, if they can get the pucks to them. But the Penguins do a great job most of the time of recovering and getting into shooting lanes.
4 shot blocks for the Penguins in the first 2 minutes of this third period. Letang ahead for Sikora. Rink-wide feed from Malkin. Couldn't handle it out of his skates. Giroux and it back to Coburn. His pass in the middle. Giroux dishing the shot. They score! Darryl Powell takes the pass and beats Fleury, and the Flyers are back on top 2-1.
What a play.
Darryl Powell's first career postseason goal, and it's a huge one. He scores for a case of tasty cakes.
Boy, Braden Coburn made a lot of this happen by corralling the puck at his own blue line and then taking 2 or 3 quick strides right here and then dishing in the middle to Claude Giroux. Flyers were all clustered together, and the Penguins, I don't think, picked up on Darryl Powell coming wide. What a shot.
And the advantage there, you see Darryl Powell on the off wing. So as a left-hander for that far corner is absolutely perfect. Fleury, look where Fleury is. He's out at the top of the goal crease area. But because he's a left-hand shot, he just drilled that puck right inside the far post.
And John Stevens making that adjustment between games 1 and 2. Putting Powell up there with Giroux and Brière, and it pays dividends. Flyers looking for more. There's a shot that goes wide from Asham. Jared Ross out and along for Spiza. He wins a battle. Spiza moves to the other side of the ice. He's met by Orpik. Just back along for Ross. This line just cycling a little, occupying some time in the Pittsburgh zone. Spiza on the boards and then back down low. Ross and Orpik. Orpik eliminates him before he touched the puck. In comes Alberts, pinching, got the puck to Asham, but he lost it. The Penguins will move it out to center ice. So the Flyers strike first here in the third. Have their lead again. Ross backhanded. Love down by Gill, all the way across for Pascal Dupuis. He'll steer into the Philadelphia zone. Now for Carter, a backhanded pass up the middle, turnover. The shot by Cook, blockered away by Biron. Now it's Stahl, turning it quickly to Kennedy. Kennedy, a shot that ricochets. Bounces back out and over the stick of Gill to center ice. It's the linesman in center. Cook after it. The bounce off of Cook deep to Philadelphia ice. He's after Carl, and he got him with the stick up high. And now it's Coburn. That pass off the stick and out of play. As we take another look at Darryl Powell putting the Flyers on top.
Another look at this play. Braden Coburn's great skating stride made this happen. You can see the Penguins did not pick up on Darryl Powell coming in on the off wing. I don't think Marc-Andre Fleury knew that Darryl Powell could shoot a puck like that.
What a story.
I'm sure Darryl Powell knows he could shoot a puck like that.
Sure he does.
All that adrenaline, though, is behind a shot when you're in the playoffs. Boy, I'll tell you what, he ripped it.
I'll tell you, at Princeton, he had a laser. What a story he is, though. I mean, just made himself into an NHL player with great play for the Phantoms last year, then in training camp this year, and then with the Flyers this year. Now a huge goal for the team. Here's Billy Guerin trying to line that puck up, but bounces free. He'll get it back to Gonchar for a shot. Ouch. That was blocked by Gagne out near the line. Seems to be okay. Little gimpy. Simone thinking about going to the bench, but seeing the Penguins as the puck stays out there. Crosby centers. That's jabbed away by Biron. Gagne ahead for Richards. Gagne is going with one leg basically toward the bench, so he was stung by that shot block. Have to keep an eye on that.
See Sidney Crosby take a run at Mike Richards right there.
Crosby and Richards are no strangers. They're teammates. World Junior Tournament, and ever since as opponents, they meet each other on the ice a lot like that.
And this is just a continuing duel as we see Simone Gagne going to the dressing room, and you just got to hope that that's equipment. I'll try to get you up to date on quickly as possible on that.
He wasn't limping.
But the big thing here, Crosby and Richards, they just go at it, they go at it, they go at it. Richards is always in his ear talking throughout the hockey game.
Big hit by Orpik on Giroux. Giroux lost his stick, gets it back, pops right back up.
Orpik's a tank, you know.
He really is. Brooks Orpik delivers hits, and he delivers them frequently. Second in the entire league with over 300 of them during the regular season. Swatting that one wide was Giroux. You know, some players pile up the hits on what I call nudges. Orpik's hits are not nudges. They hurt.
High impact.
Shot from Carl is stopped by Fleury. Powell along for Briere. Briere maneuvering. Briere gets some space, centered in front, shot! And Fleury turned back Giroux. Hey, this line developing some chemistry and doing some damage.
What a job Danny Briere did in beating Brooks Orpik. Now listen, as big a tank as Orpik is, you get him at the end of the shift when he's tired. You can beat him even if you're smaller.
Jared Ross knocked down in center ice, gets back up and plays into the Pittsburgh zone. So again, John Stevens gets his fourth line out there. He's rolling the lines here in the third. Stahl, checked by Jones. So the Stahl line against the Flyers' fourth line. Matt Cook, roll it deep. Stahl in on Jones. Jones tried to clear it. It got caught up in the bodies. Now Alberts kicks it ahead and gets some help from Asham, who avoided most of the Cook hit attempt. Flyers will move the puck deep into the Pittsburgh zone. If Matt Cook hits him there, he might end up with a charging penalty.
Aaron Asham could be looking at banners too.
Exactly. Kennedy sealed off by Alberts. There's Stahl. Crowder gets a piece of him. Alberts is back, but he didn't keep it away from Kennedy. Kennedy turning with it, the shot, and that's gloved easily by Biron, and no further play. We played over 6 minutes of period number 3, and Darryl Powell continues to write a great story. He puts the Flyers back on top. Comcast Sportsnet proud to bring you Flyers playoff hockey here from Mellon Arena in Pittsburgh. Flyers have themselves a 1-goal lead again here in the third. Good to see Simone Gagne back out. We understand he left the ice with a skate problem. No injury after blocking that shot.
And the Penguins head coach Dan Bilesma has abandoned his matchups. Down by a goal. He's got Crosby out there now against Jeff Carter. That has always been Jordan Stahl. And watch for the Penguins to try to get Malkin out, or Stahl, or Crosby against the Flyers' fourth line if John Stevens keeps playing them.
Guerin flips that one in on Biron. Hardy snared it. Way to the side. Flyers move it up the ice, but not out of the zone. Here's Kunitz with a shot. That one ricocheted and then found glass. Lupul back. He's going to hoist one up and out of the zone. Once you get to this point of the game with a 1-goal lead, and the tendency is always to sit back, but you don't want to do that.
A lot easier to protect the lead playing in the other team's end.
Carl, a long pass here, directed into the Pittsburgh zone by Lupul. Flyers will change. We pass the 7-minute mark of period number 3. Here's Letang. Romping it to Stahl. His pass for Sikora. He's able to push it into the Philadelphia zone, keeping it back to get it. Emo up the wall. One got through Aaron Asham. Running goes. Teaming in after it with Malkin. Malkin got it. His pass. Stall there. Went off a body. And Briere, nice play ahead. And with speed. Moving up with his Giroux. Giroux the shot. And it went wide. And now it bounces out to Malkin. And look out here. Malkin with Sikora. Letang joins the rush. Good play there by Timonen. Reached out. Now the Flyers have Briere ahead of the field. Can he stay on side? Yes. Briere now moving in. Briere the shot. And it went wide as Giroux charged hard at the net. Asham will keep it in. Briere gets to it. Flyers will get counter rush opportunities.
Yeah, they will. Penguins stacking the deck. Malkin out there with Jordan Staal that time.
Briere did a great job coming up the wing there. He had Giroux going to the net. But just as he moved into the middle to take that shot, the puck bounced on him. And that's why it actually went wide.
Redirection in front as Powell is in there again, but Fleury reached out to make the save, and the Flyers clear it in. Boy, Powell right now is feeling it. Get in the forecheck there. The Penguins able to avoid him. Scuderi across to Gill. That one bounces off a Jones skate. Gill jumps out it at the red line and rips it in. Biron will love it. Give to Alberts. Alberts for Knuble, just getting it out of the zone as the Penguins got in quickly. High shot counts both ways. 31-27 in favor of Pittsburgh. Adams a shot there off a leg. Bounces free to the other side. Dupuis tucking it back behind the net. Jones is there, but he stumbles from his knees. Got that puck back to Alberts.
What a play.
And now Lupul. Big wide feed behind Jones. Well behind him. And here's Talbot to it. And coming across as Lupul realized his mistake, and he made up for it by breaking up the rush. You have a tendency to have even more giddy up in your step when you make the mistake to begin with, right? And he was able to break that up with no harm.
Guilt, the great motivator.
Merritt takes the hit to make the play. Carter ahead for Lupul. In heavy traffic. Merritt arrives on the scene in ill humor and got that puck ahead to Lupul. Across to Timonen. He'll take the shot, gloved by Fleury, and he'll keep the puck in play. Flyers will change. We approach the midpoint of period number 3. Flyers 2, Penguins 1. Crowd getting impatient here in Pittsburgh. Timonen takes another puck free. Finds Briere. Briere could not handle it and drills it in. Biron could not smother that. Kennedy flying in after this. Is able to push it off of Coburn back deep into the Philadelphia zone. Flyers are in good position to handle. Briere, rink wide feed. Set in by Powell. Fleury will bat that one away. Asham over there, but Letang gathers. Letang stepped around Asham looking for Malkin. Coburn back, Malkin leaning on it. And Coburn won the battle. Fended off. Malkin starts the Flyers the other way. Pass off a stick. And getting to it was Letang. Adding off to Sikora. Ahead to Fedotenko. Fedotenko 5 scoring chances in the first 2 periods, leading all players in this game. Flyers to it though. Good job. Penguins gain the Flyers zone, but the Flyers in good position, take it right back. Backhanded in by Sikora. And when he eludes Biron,
Bounced right over his blade.
Timonen clears the zone, and it lands in the Philadelphia bench area. And so the whistle. 9:04 to go in the second, or the third, I should say. Flyers by 1. 2-1 Flyers third period. Versus is your network home for the Stanley Cup playoffs. Don't miss a single second as this great tournament, 16 teams battling for Lord Stanley's Cup, moves on. Check listings or versus.com for the full schedule. And we want to hear from you and who you think is the Verizon Wireless star of the game. Just grab your mobile phone and text the word STAR to 53695 for your vote. Standard charges apply, or go to csnphilly.com. Darryl Powell has thrown himself into that mix with a tie-breaking goal here in the third.
Good face-off win there by Jeff Carter. Again, Dan Bilesma coming with his 2 big centers, Malkin and Staal on the same line.
Flyers get the puck into the Pittsburgh zone in good shape, but it bounces away, and now here's Staal getting those powerful strides moving. Staal turns back with it, centering pass read beautifully by Carter. Played it to the line. Now Hartnell got it ahead, 2-on-1. Carter with Lupul. Carter with the puck. He holds the pass to Lupul's tip. Back to Carter. Shot. Save. Rebound out the side of the net. Oh, I don't know how Fleury got that one. And now look out the other way. Staal to Gonchar. Gonchar the shot. That that sequence.
I cannot believe it. This is a wide open net. Now watch the puck. Goes across. Puck comes back. There's Jeff Carter. Right-handed shot. All he's got to do is fire into the open net. But watch Fleury. Fleury reacts, throws that right pad right there. Just catches the toe of his skate to make a save on Jeff Carter. Boy, that is just a huge save at this juncture. That could have put it away for the Philadelphia Flyers.
Carter didn't have enough time to really pick his spot, so he shot it to the middle of the net, and that is where Fleury's toe was waiting for him.
That close to a 2-goal Philadelphia lead. Instead, it remains just 2-1. Lubel moves it down into the Pittsburgh zone. Gagne sealed off by Eaton. Richards in after it. Thrown ahead by Guerin. Now Crosby trying to work past Timonen. Timonen got his way. They want a call, they won't get it. Timonen lost his stick, the puck out for Eaton. Kunitz checked, but kept in by Letang. Letang swings deep, tried to center, blocked off. Back behind the net. Timonen now has a stick as Gagne giving his stick to Timonen. The puck ahead to Richards, takes a big hit from Kunitz, but the puck does get out of the zone, and the Flyers can get 5 skaters out there with sticks in hand. And offside go the Penguins anyway. Crowd booing, they wanted a penalty call.
It's a key couple of minutes for the Flyers, knowing that Jeff Carter came that close to making it a 3-1 hockey game. You've got to collect yourselves pretty quickly, because you know that you were that close to having a stranglehold here in game 2.
Off the face-off, it's Danny Briere with it for Philadelphia, and he'll deposit the puck deep in the Pittsburgh zone, where the Flyers would like to get the puck frequently here. The remaining 7:25.
Look at Giroux. He went in there 1-on-2 and got the puck.
He and Powell have been great. Danny Briere as well. This line has really done the job. There's Briere backhanding in. Giroux again thundering in. That puck popped free momentarily. Kept in by Carl. Back around behind for Giroux. Scuderi marking him. Giroux holding off the bigger man. Knocked down, gets back up from his knees, trying to get that through to Briere, but it was broken up by Malkin. But look at the Flyers stay with the puck. They turn it around the other side. Carl comes in. Now it's Briere. Flyers taking a lot of hits, but they're keeping the puck where they want it in Pittsburgh ice. It comes free to Giroux. Giroux holding on. All the way back out. Shot goes wide from Coburn. Back out to Briere. Giroux is heading to the bench. It hits him. Bounces back toward the Philadelphia zone. Coburn has to hustle to keep that away from Fedotenko, and he does. Oh, the puck bouncing away from Carl now. Fedotenko working again, and Carl gets to it. Again, Malkin getting a stick on a clearing attempt, but the Flyers do get it out of the zone.
But still, the Malkin line spend most of their shift in their zone. Where's the best place to protect a lead in the other team's end? And that's exactly what the Claude Giroux line did.
The Flyers can find a way for their third line, centered by Giroux, to match one of those top 3 lines for the Penguins. This becomes a very interesting series. Here's Hartnell ahead. Lupul moving well. Steamrolls in, the quick shot. Rode high, perhaps off of Fleury, and then the glass. Crosby there to scoop it up, but misplayed it. Hartnell steals to Lupul. Pass for Carter. He beat the puck into the zone. Offside whistle. 5:49 remaining on the clock. Flyers 2, Penguins 1. We'll be back.
Let's take a look at our Toyota turning point. Now, just at one end, Jordan Staal had missed, but back came the Philadelphia Flyers. Very unassuming. Darryl Powell gets a great pass, then takes that left-hand shot off the off wing, beats Fleury to the far side, and that is our Toyota turning point. Darryl Powell right now giving the Philadelphia Flyers a 2-1 lead.
Sitting in the hero seat for now. 5:49 to go in regulation, and if the Flyers can hold off the Penguins, Darryl Powell will officially be the hero of the game.
Strange hop off the glass there. Flyers get to it and clear. What a couple of weeks it's been for Darryl Powell. He had that penalty shot goal that you saw referenced there graphically in the city where he grew up. Tanada, that was a thrill, and now gets his first Stanley Cup playoff goal a couple weeks later. Now is the time to reserve your 2009-2010 season tickets. Guarantee yourself playoff tickets for every game. Enjoy great season ticket holder benefits, a ton of them, including Significant discounts from box office pricing. Call 215-218-PUCK or visit PhiladelphiaFlyers.com. Draw to the left of Marty Biron. And the whistle is down. Infraction by the Penguins. They'll do it over again.
The Flyers win. Do what they do in soccer and call advantage. If the team that is invaded doesn't win the face-off, just let it go.
That's a rule we should look at for next year. Get that competition committee on that, Bill.
I'm busy right now.
Here's Chris Letang. Intercepted by Gagne, thrown toward the Pittsburgh zone. Gonchar, cross ice, Letang. Some trouble with his balance. And Mike Richards. Now Gonchar. Weaving his way up. In is past Malkin. Redirects to Crosby. Backhands it through. So Malkin, Crosby, Guerin out there together. High octane for sure. Guerin shot. Aside by Biron, but now Malkin is there. Got a pick. And now Letang a shot. Loved calmly by Biron. Then all kinds of bodies go flying. Teaming it involved. Crosby took a shot at him. Nick Crosby showing signs of frustration.
Little hack and whack fest going on between Crosby and Tiemann, and right in front there was a pick on the play too. You called it, JJ, set by Billy Guerin, and Braden Coburn just threw him into the boards, destroyed him. Sidney Crosby actually looks like he's going for Kimmo Tiemannen's feet with the slashes, and Kimmo Timonen blocked a shot in game 1.
There's right there indicative of what's happened a lot tonight. You see how Timonen took Crosby right away. That allowed Biron a real good look at Letang's shot from the point. Nobody there screened, nobody there deflect. They've done a great job of keeping that area open.
Penguins, though, get to the puck here. Flyers quickly to them. Hartnell and Coburn trying to clear, and they do. 4:40 on the clock. This will not be icy. Scuderi back to get the puck for Pittsburgh. Flyers change the defense pair. Gill moving it ahead. Kunitz in the middle, Stahl. Backhands in. Biron punted it to the corner. The Penguins get to that. Stahl to Kennedy. A shot went off of Alberts, or Carter, and then wide. Now Kennedy for Stahl. Stahl trying to throw it to the middle for Kunitz, but it'll dribble to the wall. Stahl on it again. Changes direction on Carter. Fought him off, got in front, save, penalty upcoming. Carter will go. Hooking the call. Brad Meyer makes the call, and with 4:04 to go, the Penguins to the power play with a chance to tie.
Why, when Jordan Stahl gets half a step on you with that big body of his, he is really hard to control. And you see that he turned, went to the net. Jeff Carter's stick was just in front of him. Called it a hook. Thought Jeff Carter released in time not to get called here. But as soon as they see a stick at the waist, they called it. And it looked like Jordan Stahl actually raised Jeff Carter's stick up on that play.
Yeah, I think that was good work by Stahl to draw a penalty. Lifted the arm up with the stick there, and so it becomes a penalty.
He made it look like it was.
Yeah.
Well, guys, that used to be the status quo. That's what you used to be able to do. Get that to slow the guy down a little bit and then release. No more. And it's like you said, Billy, as soon as they see that, boy, up goes the arm.
So the Penguins not getting as many power plays in this game, certainly, but making a big one here, their third power play of the game, and they try to tie this one late in the third. Guerin. Crosby all the way out for Gonchar. Took it off the wall. Dealt to Malkin behind the net, quickly moving it to Guerin. Quick puck movement, the key for this Penguins power play. Guerin all the way across Crosby. Now want the shot, back out Gonchar across one-timer. Letang, they score! Seem to change direction in front. And the Penguins have tied it on the power play. Malkin was in the vicinity. And the Penguins use the power play to knot it up.
And the Penguins knew exactly what they wanted to do on this play. Set up two players in front, which they ended up getting with Evgeny Malkin and Billy Guerin in front, and then get the puck there. Such a huge screen for Marty Biron to look at, and I think it just went off the inside of Malkin's skate, did it not? It hit somebody in front that didn't expect it, I believe. I don't think it was a stick.
And that's the first time right there you see both Malkin and Guerin standing by themselves in front of Marty Biron. doing the screen. Marty was trying to see that puck coming from the point, but not one but two Penguins right there, causing problems for Marty.
It is Malkin being fronted. Might have gone off the inside of his shin pad. Hard to tell, but I agree with you, Bill. It was not an intentional deflection, I don't think, off the stick. I think it was off some other part of his equipment, but it counts. And so it's a 2-2 game. And this place rocking again, and the Penguins are going to come hard now. Here is Coburn avoiding a forechecker and now skating it up. Now this pass misses Giroux. Giroux tried to get to it off the boards, does, and chops it deep into the Penguin zone, but Guerrero was already in the zone, so offside is called. Letang and Gonchar assist on Malkin's second on the power play, tying the game at 2 and igniting this Mellon Arena crowd.
We'll take another look at it here. I think it might have gone off Braden Coburn first and then off the inside of the right shin pad of Evgeny Malkin. So a double carom that completely handcuffed Marty Biron, and you know why, because double direction change, you got no chance.
Flyers moving on in here. Knuble sends one high up past Fleury. Gagne around. Richards. Orpik tracks it down. Takes a heavy hit from Knuble, but got the puck ahead to Kunitz. Kunitz for Crosby. Missed him, and also eludes Timonen. Timonen tried to steal Crosby off. Easier said than done. As that tremendous forward quad. Got it to Kunitz for the shot, and the save made by Biron. That was created by Crosby and his strength. Now the other way, Richards. Richards trying to center, but that one up high goes all the way to the corner. Gagne for Knuble. Instead, it's Richards. Back out to the point, Coburn. He'll take the shot, blocked out high, went well wide, and springs Pittsburgh on a 3-on-2. Guerin to Malkin. He'll wind. Go back to Guerin with the pass. He's marked by Carl, and then the pass could not be handled by Malkin. 2:05 to play in the third. Here's Coburn. Spinning to Carl. Pursued by two Penguins. Back to Coburn. Now the long pass to Scott Hartnell, charging on in. He'll swing wide to the left wing. Hartnell all the way around behind. Had three Penguins around him. He'll get it back out to the point. They're trying to shot, blocked, and Sikora moves up with it. Sikora cutting to the middle, but he held up before the line, and that causes the play to be offside. Well, tonight on Sports Night, John Bork reports here from Pittsburgh. Derek Gunn investigates the cornerbacks in this year's draft class, and the Phillies pay tribute to Harry the K. Busy night in sports. You'll have it all covered on Sports Night tonight at 10 only on Comcast Sports Night. The towels waving from this capacity crowd in Pittsburgh. Letang winding it in. Howe after it. With Cook. Stahl hoping it pops free. Howe's helmet pops off. Stahl after the puck. With strength. But boy, Georgia will give him credit. Stayed right with him. Puck into the corner. Barrett on the backhand. Turns it over. Shot Kennedy. Deflected and went wide. Wrestling match in front as Timonen was involved. Flyers come away with the puck. Briere stepping up to center ice with it. Briere with speed into the zone. Briere the shot blocked by Eaton. And into the safety netting with 63 seconds remaining in regulation.
Penguins made sure they had three guys back on that rush. Flyers will come with Mike Richards for this offensive zone faceoff with 1:03 to go. Flyers have been good in the offensive zone on the draws. Penguins counter with Sidney Crosby.
Richards trying to get this back to Coburn, but no sir. And Gonchar will move it ahead, hoping for Malkin. And eventually Malkin does corral, but his pass is knocked down. Gagne fumbled it momentarily, and then headman off the stick of Richards to Gonchar. Orpik missing Crosby. That should be and will be icing. Carl to the touch-up. Offensive zone draw for the Flyers with 42 seconds on the clock.
So the Flyers will change up here and bring out Jeff Carter's line while Crosby and Malkin have to stay out there.
Crosby will settle in against Carter. Again, the target for Carter is Coburn back at the point.
But again, it's Crosby winning the draw. Sidney Crosby early in his career was, quite frankly, terrible on face-offs, but he is very good now. He's going to get another try because the Penguins have iced the puck again. So Crosby's won 2 in a row. He's got to make it 3 straight here.
And ironically, the puck goes down, and they didn't even try to make a change. He was bigger than, watch Crosby. He just wins this one clean. Now they're going to wheel that puck, but there was no indication whatsoever. They were tired. They were very tired coming back. Malkin can hardly keep his head up. Let's see what happens here after this faceoff.
Well, face-off win here, and the Flyers would be in good shape. They battle for it, but it bounces free back out the other side. Penguins will track it down. Gonchar ahead to Malkin. Malkin doesn't look so tired once he gets the puck. Malkin moving into the corner, but Timonen, good work to tie him up. 18 seconds on the clock. Guerin, Malkin, Timonen, Coburn, all trying to win this battle. 10 seconds. Still, finally it's Coburn wheeling it to the other side of the ice. Loop will run into. Loop will try to occupy the puck as Guerin got a piece of it. It bounces behind the net. And we are headed to overtime here in Pittsburgh. Flyers, Penguins, Mellon Arena, overtime. 9 years ago, it became 5 overtimes. Perhaps this one will end a little bit sooner than that. Either way, overtime, Stanley Cup, playoff hockey coming up. It is sensational. Tonight's Stanley Cup playoffs. Game 2, third period from Pittsburgh, brought to you by Chevy. Find your nearest dealer on ChevyDealer.com. And by Verizon Wireless. We never stop working for you.
We're going to take a look at our Comcast business class save of the game. And it was sensational by Marc-Andre Fleury. The telescopic right leg came through for him again. The puck was just about over the line, but he got it with the toe of his skate. For Comcast business class save of the game. And that allowed the Penguins to come back and tie this and force overtime.
That is why we are tied indeed. 2-2 after 60 minutes. A full intermission here now, not like the regular season. Michael Barkat, Al Morganti are back after this. Stanley Cup playoffs on Comcast Sportsnet. Game 2 Eastern Conference quarterfinals. Flyers and Penguins headed to overtime with the Penguins leading this series 1-0. Let's check on those keys, Mr. Coach.
Well, obviously the discipline was there as compared to the other night. And then you got the stronger forecheck because the Flyers got 24 hits tonight. They've done a nice job of getting on the defense of the Pittsburgh Penguins. Better success getting the net. 2 goals, 30 shots tonight. But what I've liked is they've got in front of Fleury. They've had some great opportunities. Hartnell at first goal in front of Fleury. Howe absolutely surprised them on that second goal.
Well, in overtime, Joffrey Lupul has scored twice in the playoffs. We tend to remember that last one, Game 7 overtime against Washington last year. Danny Briere actually scored against the Flyers in overtime up in Buffalo. Mike Knuble, Simone Gagne have also scored in overtime. Their last playoff overtime, Game 1 against Montreal last year. Peter Sikora has been Mr. Clutch. 3 overtime goals, including Stanley Cup Finals in the triple overtime classic with the Red Wings. Ruslan Fedotenko's goal came with the Flyers against Ottawa. Who will be the hero? That is the question. Joffrey Lupul knows what that is like. Did you ever score a playoff overtime game winner, Mr. Clement?
Not even close.
Well, you got a key goal for the Flyers, though, late in the third period to salt away.
Wasn't how many.
That's right. It's wet. You get one of these, I imagine it's something you remember the rest of your life. The Flyers either go back home tied at a game apiece or they're in a 2-game hole. Crowd ready, waving the towels here at Mellon Arena as the overtime gets underway. Remember, you play 20-minute periods. They'll break again if there's no goal, resurface the ice, and go at it all over again. No shootout in the playoffs. You play until someone scores a goal. Penguins back to control as Brooks Orpik has the puck. For Gonchar. Gonchar off of Kunitz into the Philadelphia zone. Ryan Parent back. Aaron is there. Parent able to jab the puck free up the wall, but right there is Orpik. Low, Parent tipped it, but couldn't control. Kunitz in front, shot, Coffey save Biron. First big save of the overtime belongs to Marty Biron as he denied Sidney. Now here's Kunitz. Around behind. Crosby digs it loose. Crosby marked by Timonen. Back out to the point. Orpik across. One-time shot. Gonchar. Save Biron in traffic. Gagne did not get to that puck. Kunitz around behind for Garrett. Centered it. It goes all the way through. And now Gagne will get to it. And he'll charge up the ice. Gagne on the left wing to the line. And he'll take the shot. And the save made by Fleury.
Well, this period is starting like the periods the all other three did, with the Penguins really asserting themselves early.
Tim Nowak got in the way of that. Dump in by the Penguins. The linesman. Now Lupul. Swooping on in, the shot. And the curl and drag it, but it was blocked. Carter chopped it side of the net. Fleury there to tie it up and get the first whistle of overtime. And here's what this game means, Bill. The numbers really telling. Flyers, they get the series even at 1. They're break even, 15-15. But when they fall behind, not as good. Penguins have been very good when leading. But how about that third note? Last 2 postseasons throughout the NHL, 17 teams have taken a 2-0 lead in the series. All 17 have gone on to win. Bottom line, Flyers want them even 1-1 going home. They have that opportunity. They can get the next goal. Coburn in the slot. Giroux couldn't handle it. Stahl now digs it free. Giroux ends up on the ice. Stahl swoops on in. Stahl trying to center it, tipped away. Good play by Coburn. And the puck bouncing high in the air and then batted out to center ice by Coburn. Letang. Crank it off the glass and into the Philadelphia zone. Biron will set it up there. Now for Powell. Powell forced back by Cook. Kennedy to it. Tyler Kennedy changing direction. It's swept away from him, but there is Stahl. This line again going to work in the cycle. Flyers doing a pretty good job, though, of keeping them right along the wall, keeping them contained, and they get the puck. Powell to Giroux. Giroux deliberately in. Waits all the way across. It's tipped into the air. Bounces free and finally to the corner. Centered, bounces around in front. Briere looking for Carl, but it's Kennedy instead. Kennedy with a pass to Stahl. Both teams with tired players out on the ice. And they'll take this opportunity to make changes. 2.5 minutes into the overtime. Parent to Timonen. Timo gets the line and winds it deep. Takes a strange hop to the area behind the net. Lupul after it, but Gill wraps him up. Malkin will reverse it out of the zone.
Hal Gill just swallows people.
Yeah, it's sort of like an octopus. Just to get near him and then the play ends. It's Betanko. He's checked by Hartnell. 1-on-3 though for Scott. Occupying the puck long enough. Now he has help. Send it in front. Unable to get his stick on it was Lupul. Coburn hustles over to keep it in the zone. Around behind for Hartnell. Hartnell for Carter. His shot glanced off a Fleury and went wide. And a broken stick for Carter on the shot. He heads to the bench. Penguins move up. Malkin dances around one Flyer, but lost the puck in the process. Coburn tipped it, but not out of the zone. Malkin goes and gets it. And passes it back out to center. Orpik has it there. The Flyers going with 5D. I've not mentioned Randy Jones' name a whole lot. Here's Knubel sending it in. The save made by Fleury, and then that puck chopped out to center ice. Parent back to get it for Philadelphia. Timonen. Knubel in the middle. Off Richards' stick. He's able to get to it. Richards, quick shot wide. Parent will get to it on the backhand. In along for Richards, but instead it's Crosby. Over 4 minutes into the overtime. Pass in the middle. Gobbled up by Claude Giroux. We'll bank it open for Briere, who takes a big hit from Orpik. Orpik with 10 hits through regulation. Make it at least 11 in this game.
Danny Briere stood in there to make the play, though.
Now they move up the shot. Craig Adams, the save made by Biron, and he will hang on. Won't allow rebounds at this point. Flyers are hungry for more playoffs. They'll be heading home to take on these Penguins Sunday, April the 19th. 3 o'clock start. Tuesday, it's a 7 o'clock start. Games 3 and 4 of this series. Don't miss any of the action. Call 215-218-PUCK or visit PhiladelphiaFlyers.com.
right there, Danny Briere is going to protect the puck. He knows he's going to get in, but knows that he's got to be able to get that puck deep. Orpik takes him out. He takes the hit. Boy, that's doing your job there, because that's not hiding. That's doing your job and making sure that puck is safe.
Flyers win the defensive zone draw. Carter or Lupul. Knock him to Gill. Gill takes the hit from Hartnell. The puck into the zone, but Carter's there again. Stabbing it out of the zone. Right back in. And there's Randy Jones and Alberts. So Randy is okay. And the pass ahead for Lupul. Reaching for it. Carter there now. Sends one from center ice that Fleury had to play carefully. Gill to Scuderi. Or Kennedy. Looks for the long cross-ice pass and finds Gill, who broke his stick on that shot. Flyers can get to this puck and move up. No, Gill's going to get to the bench, be replaced. Kennedy picks up the puck anyhow. Kennedy turns, shot, save, Mira. Rebound. Jones will play it ahead, and Hartnell will backhand out of the zone. Turning the other way was Letang. The linesman up to that. They wave off any icing possibility. Here is Letang. Moving on up. And he got it ahead, and then it's sent in by Sikora. Right quickly to Carl, up the middle nicely to Richards. Flyers move out with speed. Richards to the line. Richards the shot. Wide out the other side. Knuble shot. Fleury got there to make the save. Knuble back after it behind the net. There's two Penguins to deal with. Kicks it along for Richards. Richards has a look. Makes the deke. Richards shot. Safe for a rebound. Finally popped out the other way. Racing over is Coburn. And he'll try to get the puck deep. Malkin knocked it down. Knuble runs into him. And then Malkin got it back. And ahead it goes to Sikora. Sikora to the line. Malkin trailing him. Sikora tried to get it in the middle. Bounces back to Malkin, and now it's Sikora around behind. To Fedotenko. Shot wide. Gonchar kept it in, but the Flyers get it back. And the outlet for Powell, but too far. Played by Orpik. Again, both teams had tired players. They need changes. Coburn have to dig back for this one. Biron out of his net, played it to the boards. Drew to Powell. Powell missing Briere with that quick pass attempt. Eaton for Kunitz. Kunitz in.
Coburn and Carl looking for a change here. Remember, the first overtime period is like the second period. You're a long way from your bench.
Powell chipping this one out of the zone, and they're going to call it icing. So no change here for the Flyers. Eaton back for the touch.
Pay attention on this next faceoff, because the Flyers D-men are tired. 32 saves on 34 shots from Marc-Andre Fleury. The Flyers have had a good net presence in front of them, and Jeff Carter has just been snake bit in this hockey game. That was the biggest rattlesnake of all right there.
John Stevens does have his timeout available. Decides not to use it here. Penguins win the draw. Shot blocked, actually hit a Penguin and bounces out to Briere. He'll clear it down into the Penguin zone, and the Flyers get some fresh defensemen on the ice.
You see that the Pittsburgh Penguins came out with their fourth line, so John Stevens says, you know what, when you're in an overtime like this, you've got to use your people. So with that fourth line out there, he came back with his own.
Flyers nearly had too many men on the ice there. Albert stopped by Jones, bounced it ahead for Jared Ross. Ross gets the puck. Ross in shot, and that one went off of Eaton wide. Spiza over after it, so the fourth line out for Philadelphia. They don't know how long this game is going to go. You got to use all your players. Else they'll run out of gas. Ross trying to get that back to Spiza. He breaks his stick going after that puck with Orpik. Orpik's stick that broke. One of the sticks broke in that collision.
I think it's Spiza's. Yep.
Yeah, it is Spiza. So he's without a stick, looking for one at the bench as the Penguins move up the ice. Craig Adams in. Alberts kept him away from it. Run into by Talbot, but Alberts stays with it. Andrew Alberts with a pass in the middle to Ross. From the red line, and it goes. Flyers will change again. Past the 8-minute mark of overtime, number one. There's Gill ahead for Cook. Cook turned it over. Teaming and trying to get that pass to Richards. It was just out of his reach. Kennedy back in center to the puck. Tyler Kennedy holds the stall for the shot. Oh, it almost caught Biron leaning the other way. Now back around here, Stahl. Stahl to Kennedy. The shot smothered. Stahl after it, so is Gagne. Kennedy who keeps it in. Finds Cook. pass goes off Timonen. Stahl. Boy, this line just seems dangerous. Flyers will take care of this particular attempt, though, as Timonen gets to it and finds Parent.
They're dangerous because Jordan Stahl protects the puck so well once he gets it. I mean, he takes ownership papers on it, and you can't get it from him.
Gagne rolls that one in on Fleury as that puck was bouncing when Simone tried to take the shot. Well, Bill, the reason we're here.
It was a late third period power play for the Pittsburgh Penguins that looked like an innocent shot, except for the fact that the Penguins had two guys in front. It went off Braden Coburn, then off the inside of Evgeny Malkin's right leg. That's why we're here. Glad you're with us.
Malkin's second consecutive multiple-point game in this series, a goal and an assist. Having said that, I think the Flyers have done a decent job on him in this series, but here's Carl, point shot, and that one caught up high by Fleury as he was dealing with congestion in front. Racing over there and making a nice play was Carl, but the Penguins back on it. Gonchar got it into the Philadelphia zone. Guerin takes a look. Puck rolled on him as he was trying to make a play, and then Carl got to him. Carter steps into a Penguin. Guerin sets the puck over. Ahead for Lupul. Joffrey Lupul fires from center. Fleury will take that one in the midsection and hang right onto it. Goalies awfully careful with the puck at this point.
Especially when they don't have it in their gloves. If it's in the glove, they can do something with it. If it's stuck in your chest, better be careful. Joffrey Lupul, I think, was hoping for a rebound, although he had Scott Hartnell steaming down the left wing. The other option was going cross corner. You know, you talked about playing your fourth line. You don't really have to if the other team isn't. And then it just is a battle of attrition to see which three lines can outlast the others. Coach, he brought up that the Penguins put out their fourth line, and John Stevens smartly countered with his.
Don't want them getting rest for their players. Wish you're getting rest for yours. Here's Parent back. And he touches up on the icing, so another offensive zone draw for the Flyers. And that's the beauty of overtime. Every time you're facing off next to the other team's goaltender, you could be a couple of seconds away, one play away from winning the game.
Evgeny Malkin played 8 minutes and 38 seconds in the third period alone. But I don't think you'll see Dan Bilesma in overtime juggling his lines and stacking Malkin and Crosby on the same line. He may, but not often.
Ryan Parent back, and he's going to be forced by Malkin. Got it through Sikora. Nice touch pass from Lupul to Carter. Carter moving on, up the shot, and it deflected and went wide. Hartnell to it, fires it in front, blocked. He's after it again, bounces free. Carter couldn't get steadied for a shot. Instead of Tinko knocked it away, and now Malkin after it. But Matt Carl comes back to get it away from him. Matt Carl has played a solid game here. Oh, that one hits the referee and bounces to Fedotenko. Back out Scuderi. In along Sikora. Checked by Carter, but Sikora is back to the point. Scuderi. In along, there's Malkin still lurking. Tried to center, bounces in the air. Carl there, ahead. Hartnell tried a finesse play. Second try, he is able to muscle it out of his own, but barely. And then it's played in. Here comes Hal Gill up in the play as the Flyers try to make a change, but unable to get a complete change. Carl ahead for Danny Briere. Briere in the middle for Powell. Carter will head off to complete that line change. Orpik back. Goes to Briere. Briere trying to get it in front. Giroux to it. Claude Giroux. Back for Briere. There was empty space there, but he couldn't get it on goal. Now Jones. Back to Giroux. Shot blocked off by Orpik. Briere will spin it around the dasher. All the way out to Alberts. Alberts fires it behind the net, hoping for Briere, but it's Gill there. Ahead and past. Pitching Alberts out to center ice. Jones to Giroux. He lost it. Kennedy gives it to Cook. Shot save. Miron took it right in the middle of the Flyer crest. And he hangs on. They'll pause now to shovel the ice surface. Here just a little past the halfway point of overtime. NBC is Game 3 on Sunday. That's a 3 o'clock start. Our next telecast, Comcast Sportsnet, is Tuesday night, Game 4 at the Wachovia Center. At this point, we have no idea where this series will be at that point. But we know it'll be a big game because it's a playoff game. Game 4, Flyers-Penguins, Tuesday night, 7 o'clock. And here at Comcast Sportsnet, high definition where available.
Kimmo Timonen is not leading the Flyers in ice time. As a matter of fact, both Matt Carle and Braden Coburn through regulation played more than Kimmo Timonen. Still on the limp, I think, a bit. Marty Biron in full focus mode here. There'll be a tendency while they're scraping the ice to let it drift. So Marty Biron is just taking up the right corner. He wants to do nothing other than focus on his next save. And Marty Biron has been terrific in this hockey game for the Flyers. Penguins came at Philadelphia early from all sides. Shots from the point, shots in close, shots from in front.
That was a heck of a save he made right in here, in close on Kennedy. Kennedy's right at the bottom of the circle. Now Marty, he likes to go down to that butterfly. Right there he did it. That puck caught him right in the shoulder. That was the big save right here in the overtime on Kennedy.
41 of them. Fleury with 35 stops at the other end, so the goalies have been busy. Ron Gagne, remember, had the overtime game winner, forced Game 7 in the Eastern Conference Finals against Tampa Bay. As loud as I've heard the Wachovia Center. Primo had tied it late in regulation, and Gagne won it in overtime. Crosby wins that draw, sent it in front, and it did ricochet, I think, off of Guerin, maybe off of Timonen, but it went wide.
That was a set play that Crosby won the draw on by going forward, except for a good defensive play by Kimmo Timonen. Guerin would have had a point-blank shot.
Crosby jumps on another loose puck, and he speeds to center. Crosby dishes in the middle for Guerin, but he could not get his stick on it. Gagne to it, and he'll backhand in the middle of the Timonen. He'll just rip it into the Pittsburgh zone. Little takes a hit from Orpik. Richards follows up. Richards around behind, trying to step in front. He's chopping away at the side of the net, but it's pinned. And play whistle down.
Boy, that was just a great play by Kimmo Timonen, because he's not going to let Guerin go. Now look at that. Crosby just shovels that puck right behind Richards. He knows he wants to go straight across. Now watch where Guerin goes. He goes to the net. Now watch Timonen nullifies Guerin. That's what it's all about. If he's left alone there, that pass coming straight across, Crosby would have had him, Billy.
No question. Some teams put that D-man up at the hash marks. Kimmo Timonen held back to protect Marty Biron, I think, because Mike Richards with a left-hand shot drawing on his backhand right towards Biron.
Got there in the nick of time. Fleury. Hal Gill. Less than 8 minutes remaining, and I do have to say this, the first overtime, as the Penguins get the puck into the Philadelphia zone. Coburn seals off Cook. Stahl marked by Carter. Cook back to it. His pass hit Carter, bounces to Stahl. Back around behind. Biron will further it along, but Gill is right there. Sneaks through to Coburn. Head. Hartnell redirects out of the zone. That will not have enough steam for icing, so Gill will go get it. Let's go, Pens chant from the crowd. They want their Penguins to head to Philadelphia with a 2-game lead. Ryan Parent up the wall. Briere has it. Danny Briere in the middle to Powell with speed. Drop past Giroux, but he could not do anything with that, and now the counter rush is available. Here's Sikora. Sikora dropping to Malkin. Malkin pirouette, splits to the middle. He's got Eaton. Eaton a pirouette to the backhand. Blocked off by Timonen. Got to take it to the puck to Sikora. Sikora up the wall with it. Sikora with a shot. Save Biron through traffic. He had to be deep in his net for that, but he made the save. Peter Sikora's history, might want to pay attention to him. 3 overtime game winners in playoff activity. Letang a pass. Crosby around Knuble. Crosby with a quick shot. Fought off by Biron to the corner. Everybody jamming for it. It comes free to Knuble. He's going to force that one to center, but right there is Kunitz. Gonchar ahead. He was heading off on a change, but no icing. Biron to Carl. We ticked out towards 6 minutes remaining in the overtime. Matt Carl steps up. Oh, the pass knocked down by here, but Carl stays with it. Chopped it ahead, never got to Richards. Got off by Gonchar. Orpik gets to Gonchar. Head off Guerin, but Carl quickly back. Here's Carter through the neutral zone. Off to Lupul. Lupul the shot. Save Fleury. Lupul to the carom. Holding on to it.
Looking and then dropping it back along. Hartnell turns, sent it in front, but it went right to Fleury. That was actually Gagne taking that shot as Hartnell not on the ice with his usual line mates, perhaps in the middle of the chase. Fleury made the save either way. Face off in the Pittsburgh zone.
You have to have the mentality that you shoot everything. You can't pass up a shot. And Joffrey Lupul shoots to score. John Stevens often points that out about him. Some guys just shoot to get a shot on goal. Joffrey Lupul shoots to score almost all the time.
The face-off win for the Penguins. This one a defensive zone draw for Pittsburgh. Albert's ahead for Hartnell. He's now out with Asham and Carter. Stahl in across the line. Jones ahead. Saw that Lupul was getting some equipment repairs. I believe that's why Asham stayed out for some of that shift with Carter and Hartnell. Now they'll switch. Giroux, Briere, and Powell come over the boards. Kennedy turns back with it. Another consideration now. This ice has seen a lot of hockey tonight. Here's a race for Biron. He gets crashed into, plays it ahead though to Briere. Briere moving up to Giroux. Briere's shot. It's blocked. Activity behind the play as Alberts gave Stahl a piece of his mind. Broken stick behind the Pittsburgh net after heavy contact. Giroux in front, looking for a redirection. Knocked down, penalty. Penalty called in front. Briere got hammered as he was already down on his knees, and he got hammered down even further. And the Flyers will get an overtime power play and a chance to win this game. Bill McCreary makes the call.
It's the right call, too.
Let's come back to that play by Marty Biron. He had to raise the puck to Jordan Stahl. Now remember, we always talk about Stahl, how big he is. Look at this. He's just trying to get a piece of it. Alberts is there, but Marty Biron came out and made a heck of a play. Then you've got this penalty right here, Billy. This is huge.
Really huge. Darryl Powell had just killed Hal Gill in behind the net with a titanic hit, and Hal Gill, I think, came out wanting some kind of revenge. We talked about discipline and overriding your emotions. That time, Hal Gill didn't.
Flyers 1 for 3 on the power play here tonight. They go back to Philadelphia, tied in the series with a power play goal right here. Carter looking for that pass, knocked away. 2-on-2 the other way. Craig Adams crisscrossing and then blasting from the blue line. Biron, the save, wasn't quite sure where it was. He wanted to keep that in play, but couldn't get rid of the puck fast enough. And then we get some pushing with Talbot and Colbert.
Watch this hit in behind by Darryl Powell. And I take it back, it wasn't even on Hal Gill. It was on Rob Scuderi. Now, a lot of Flyers fans might have wanted goalie interference on that play, but Jordan Stahl just went into self-preservation mode, trying not to die on the play.
And I think the referees showed discipline of their own there, because Stahl was given some of the business, as they say, by Alberts after he bumped into the goalie. They let that go as well. And I think the fans here are incensed because they didn't let what Gill did to Briere go, but Gill got a couple shots at Danny, and then he was in a defenseless position when he got him the last time. Had a stoppage here, I think a timing issue. Not sure if it has to do with the penalty clock or the game clock. Gives all the players a chance to gather themselves. I don't see any empty seats here. There are not many. As these fans waiting to see who wins this all-important game 2. That youngster doesn't appear tired.
Red Bull.
At that age, you don't need Red Bull. There's the special teams breakdown. I think the most impressive number there, Bill, is the fact that the Penguins have only had 3 power plays. The Flyers clearly with much more discipline here tonight.
No question. The Flyers don't score on this power play. They've got to be really careful at the end of it, because the Penguins are going to come with Malkin, maybe Crosby. John Stevens knows that. The big gunners for the Penguins don't kill.
Still confusion here over a timing issue, as Bill McCreary was ready to go back and start play, but now he's going to go back to the
official scorer's bench over there by the penalty box. And it's possible they can't get the scoreboard here to rectify the problem.
He's looking up to the end somewhere.
Maybe this isn't a timing issue. A lighting issue of some sort?
We'll never know.
The penalty time clock was 1:41. Now it's 1:38. So they took 3 seconds off of it.
Well, that had to be the Penguins that spotted that.
Yeah, I don't think the Flyers were complaining at all if they had gotten 3 extra seconds. All right, the draw to the left of Biron. The Flyers win it and charge up the ice with a 3-on-2 developing. Penguins try to get back, so Gagne will just wheel it in. Even in after, Scuderi there as well. Finally comes free, and Knuble cannot knock it out of midair. Knuble has to come back and get the puck. We'll let Richards play it. Here come the Flyers. The captain on the red line. Pass to Gagne. Gagne couldn't get it past Scuderi. It's tipped out into center. Race for the puck. Adams and Mira. Adams got a stick on it. Timonen bumps into him. Toronto wants a penalty. They won't get it. Mira just now getting back into the crease. Oh my goodness. That was close. Richards from center will dump it in. Briere around behind. Flyers tentative on this power play, not pursuing the puck the way they normally do on a power play. Now they pursue it. That's Briere winning the battle, getting the puck back to Timonen. To Briere, and Knuble's going to go. That is a drawn penalty by the Penguins. Brooks Orpik is not this light on his feet, but he knew there have been a couple of possible calls let go by the officials, and that he was going to get the call. He gets it. Knuble will go for interference or cross-checking, actually do the call in front. He just doesn't go down that easily.
No, he doesn't. But when you extend your arms like this up high, like Mike Knuble did, when you extend your arms, you give the ref an opportunity to make the call.
Absolutely.
Well, that's an overtime. That's not the kind of call you like to see in overtime, but I got to say before that, another great play by Marty Biron. He reacted. If he delays whatsoever on coming out of the net, he's in trouble. He did a great job. That's 2 in a row.
So it's 4-on-4 for 27 seconds, and then a Pittsburgh power play if they need it. Here's a shot. Kunitz save Biron. You must say it's the same referee who made both calls, so he's going to call the cross-check one way. He's going to call it the other way. Wasn't nearly as vicious, but it still is. Bill mentioned cross-checking motion. Here they come. Kennedy burrowing in, a broken stick. That puck
another
wide, and another penalty.
Oh no, the Flyers I think are going to end up with this.
Automatic slash because of the broken stick. It'll be a 4-on-3 for 2 seconds, but after that, a 5-on-3 for the Penguins to try to win this game. Claude Giroux head to the box.
They've got to take it out. It's too easy to break a stick. You're talking about right here. Simple enough play. You're just making a stick-on-stick play, and all of a sudden you break it. And because you break it, it's automatically a penalty. I just think we got to get rid of that penalty.
Well, the Flyers have to get rid of this 5-on-3, and this is the key juncture, perhaps, in this entire series. The rookie, Claude Giroux, is off for a slash.
Well, discipline was good all night, but here in overtime, a couple penalties that put them in a very difficult situation. Now 5-on-3 for the Penguins. Malkin has the puck. Malkin waits. His shot goes wide. Gonchar to it. Timonen, Coburn, and Richards, the threesome out there right now. Here's Malkin, a shot, save Biron. Rebound out, Malkin, shot blocked by Richards. Richards is gimpy. Richards trying to shake it off. He's got to stay on the ice. Malkin down low, Crosby in front, ricochets in. Biron couldn't cover, comes free. Flyers need a whistle in a bad way. Crosby to the puck. Crosby all the way across for Guerin. Back out Malkin. Across Gonchar, shot blocked by Timonen. Now he's gimpy. The Flyers have 2 players on one leg, 1 player who's healthy, and the Penguins go offside. What a huge play there. What a break for the Flyers.
Not only a break just to stop the play, but the Flyers need to get their troops off the ice. Timonen blocked an absolute rocket. Mike Richards blocked one as well. Mike Richards is arguing for some call. Not sure what it is.
Even staying on the ice here.
Wow.
Wow. That was the first one that was stopped by Biron. The Penguins move it quickly back in. Timonen, what a warrior. He's still out there. Here's Gonchar holding on. He'll wind. The pass to Guerin. Guerin steps in front and scores! Bill Guerin wins it for the Penguins. A two-man advantage in overtime, and the Penguins put it away. They lead the series 2-0.
The Penguins are left to celebrate, and the Flyers now have to go back to a drawing board that's got to be loaded with motivation and loaded with game plans for Game 3. Claude Giroux had to make the long skate out of the penalty box. That 5-on-3, I'll give the Penguins credit. They were very patient on it, waiting for their chances. The Flyers blocked a couple of fantastic shots. But Billy Guerin, who had scored earlier in this game to tie it at 1, has won it for his new team in overtime.
Good acquisition for the Pittsburgh Penguins at the trade deadline, and this crowd loving it here at Mellon Arena. So the Penguins have a 2-game lead in the series. Coming up after the post-game show, it is Toyota Sports Night on a busy night in sports in Philadelphia. Let's get a preview with Neil Hart.
All right, JJ, thank you very much. Tough loss for the Flyers tonight. Here's what we have coming up for you after Flyers post-game live on Toyota Sports Night. The Eagles make a move with their abundance of draft picks, by the very latest on how the Birds are replacing one of their departed free agents. 76ers are wishing upon a star as they continue preparations for the Magic in Orlando. D. Lanham has the latest before the team departs. Destination Disney. Phillies return home for the first time without their voice. Derek Gunn has full coverage from an emotional night at Citizens Bank Park. Those stories and a lot more coming up. But first, as you can see behind me, Michael Barkan, Al Morganti getting set for Flyers Postgame Live. And we'll see you on Toyota Sports Night after that program. But first, we head back to Pittsburgh and JJ.
Thank you very much, Neil. Bill Guerin, second of the night from Gonchar and Malkin. Malkin, a 3-point night. And the Penguins head to Philadelphia with a 2-game lead.
And our Bud Light player of the game is Billy Guerin. 2 goals. That was the first one. It was big because it threw the Penguins into a tie with the Flyers. This one, even bigger. There was not much daylight, but all it needed to be was 1 by 3 inches. Billy Guerin found it. So the Penguins win Game 2 in overtime and go up 2-0 in the series.
Discipline was there through regulation for the Flyers. Cost them a little in the end, and the Penguins a happy bunch. Tonight's Flyers-Penguins Game 2 of the Eastern Conference quarterfinals is brought to you by Toyota, a smart way to keep moving forward. By Wachovia, the official financial services partner of the Philadelphia Flyers. And by Bud Light. The difference is drinkability. Game 3 on Sunday afternoon at 3 o'clock. You can see that one on NBC. Our next local telecast will be Game 4 from the Wachovia Center. The Flyers and Penguins getting in each other's faces yet again. If it's anything like tonight's game, it will be tremendous. Great hockey game. And we'll look for more of the same Tuesday at 7 o'clock. Comcast Sportsnet in high definition where available. And tickets available for games 3 and 4. So you want to call 1-800-298-4200 or check the Flyers website out for information. Don't forget, coming up next, Dodge presents Flyers
Physical challenge for jump.
Live. And they will have a full game and then some to discuss
Overtime needed for the Penguins with a two-man advantage in front of the Steelers head coach. They get the victory 3-2. For the entire crew, including executive producer and director Brian Cooper and associate producer Chris Cajaro, as well as my partners Bill Clement and Steve Coates, I'm Jim Jackson wishing you good night, Pittsburgh and Mellon Arena. Stay tuned now. Dodd presents Flyers postgame live.